Look at this man. This is Zion from this past weekend as he was hosting a basketball camp in Spartanburg, South Carolina. The Pelicans forward looks noticeably thinner heading into this season compared to when he first entered the league. Okay, so we got to get that out the way first. Williamson has been historically injury prone, but last season he played a career high 70 games and led the Pelicans to the playoffs. Let me say this. I'm proud of Zion. I'm proud of Zion. They say here it was only the second time in 5 seasons that Zion didn't miss at least half of his regular season games. All true. The brother's a career 24 point per game scorer. He averaged 22 last year. He's a man child on the basketball court, extremely powerful. Okay? And his problem was food. I mean, that's just the way it was. I'm not exaggerating when I tell y'all, you got people in the NBA.
The problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000, man, and I dare motherfucker to.
He had people checking up on him to make sure he tried to engage in some level of containment when it came to his diet, and that brother wasn't trying to hear it. He wasn't trying to hear it. If you notice, we say very little about Zion's game because we know when this man wants it, he can go get it. Now, they say he's at about 281. That his aspiration is to get to about 271. He was at a minimum of 285 when he played at Duke. He was bigger than that when he was in high school. I mean, I'm just looking at Zion right now, and I think about the Pelicans, and if this brother is on the basketball court, it's a different animal. What I was most excited about watching Zion Williamson was his last game against the Lakers when he got hurt in the play-in tournament. Now, if you remember, just a couple of days earlier, the Lakers had shellacked them, and it was big news because in the play-in tournament in Vegas last December, I was in attendance for that. The Lakers beat New Orleans by 44 points. LeBron had 30. Bust Zion and the Pelicans living you know what. And Zion had 13 points. He was relatively anemic and basically a no-show. And everybody was lamenting, where's your pride? Where's your dignity? The whole bit. And then they showed up against the Lakers in the play-in tournament or the last game of the regular season, and they got beat up by the Lakers again. But then as a result of that, they got the Lakers in the play-in for the playoffs. And Zion was balling until he got hurt. So when he's on the basketball court, ladies and gentlemen, this is a superstar in the making. When he's on the basketball court, he's box office and he's a man child.
The problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000, man, and I dare motherfucker to.
You're muted. Can't hear you.
All right, there we go. Thanks, Lex. All right, for all things Pelicans, you now listen to the Pelican post-game report. We up in this thing, man. As we're brought in by Stephen A. Smith, followed and then aptly told what he can do with his stuff by the great, rest in power to Brother Dick Gregory, the elder. Told him what time it was, man, and that's one of my favorite little pieces that I like to play for people that don't know what the hell they talking about. But of course, we started the broadcast, Lex. Of course, we started the broadcast in, man. Zion's shape is, I mean, we've seen the pictures of Zion in incredible shape, man. Looks really good, looks healthy, looks ready for the season. He locked in. And we knew the brother had some issues or problems, man. But listen, there are big stakes coming up and big stakes right now for the Pelicans this year, man. And listen, Zion is the centerpiece of whatever high quality basketball the Pels are going to get. It starts with the man on the screen. So shout out to you guys. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed, PPR, late at night, man. We up in this thing. Shout out to the fam. We got Lex. We got DC in the building as well. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you being here. DC, are you all right, brother? How's everything? Your setup's okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, man.
All right, DC. Mike sound pretty good, man. Shout out to DC, man. Round of applause, DC, man.
I can't hear it, but okay.
You can't hear it. We can hear.
I can hear Lex clapping. Thank you, Lex.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shout out to you. And Lex, shout out to you too, Queen. Appreciate you as well. Look at you around. You can hear it. And shout out to the flock for being up in this thing. Let's talk some pals tonight, man. Much love to y'all. The Zion Williamson thing, man. Let's jump. DC, you're echoing, sir. Let's get DC together here. DC, you want me?
Why do we give him a round of applause?
Yeah, so it don't make no difference anyway. Like DC's trying to get everything set up so you have no.
Goodness gracious!
I can't tell if I'm echoing or not. I don't hear anything on my end as far as me echoing.
You ain't clapping. You don't hear nothing.
Can you hear?
Yeah. You playing the guitar or something? What you got going on, brother?
That's okay. So you hear that?
Yeah. All right.
Is
so
it still echoing? It's still echoing?
No, DC, no, it's not echoing. Okay,
well,
you
that
good.
wasn't me. God damn it, I ain't changed nothing.
Shit.
Oh my god. no, man.
To punch the Kawhi Leonard button on your ass on that one, DC. You ain't do nothing. You did something.
I didn't.
It's
I ain't
still
changed
echoing.
anything.
Well, change whatever. You echoing, brother. I hear it now.
It's echoing now?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we gonna go like for 5-10 minutes about echoing?
I've said
no.
You know what I'm saying?
What about now? Is that better?
Yeah, everything's good. You know, right. Now it is. I don't hear no echo now.
Wonderful. All right, so let's get into it. Start with you, Lex. Well, you heard a lot of the stuff and you shared with me a lot of the pictures originally when this article came out about Zion Williamson's health, how slim he looks. It's been a point of contention throughout the leagues, including the gentleman with the fading hairline that just played not too long ago, talking up about Zion Williamson, talking about he wants to eat the table, all this rhetoric. But now Zion's in great shape.
They say he's hiding pizzas under his bed. You heard that?
Yeah, he did say so.
They say he hiding food under the bed. So even when he try to talk nice, he's still giving
he's not coming from a good place. He's not coming from a good place. And I think that's the thing. When a lot of these analysts, when they talk, they're not coming from a good place. You don't know who to believe. Like, I know we've talked about, Barkley and Shaq. They're big guys. They've had weight problems and different things like that. I think they're different. And I think they were actually being genuine, and they can relate to Zion a whole lot more than other guys. Not only because they're analysts, but because they played. They're ex-players. They're Hall of Famers. So they get it. They understand. But when you look at a lot of these other cats out here, I mean, just think about after the in-season tournament, when everybody, Zion was the talk of the week, 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like it started like you had some people that were coming from a genuine place, and then you had other people, it was just clickbait. They were just because everybody else was talking about it, not because it was something to bring awareness to Zion to even help him. If you do call it help, you know what I'm saying? And even when, Zion responded to the reporter when, they asked about, Barkley statements and Shaq statements, and he was like, and what did they say? Like, he didn't even acknowledge the fact that, hey, I'm not going to admit that that we're on the same page as far as what they said. You know what I'm saying? Like, he let them repeat, okay, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you don't know who to believe. You really don't. Even if they are saying the right thing, you can't. there's a vibe and just like a subliminal a subliminal message behind when somebody, even when someone is saying the right thing, when you're listening to it, it sounds right, but it's like, all right, dog. I mean, are you just saying this? And then obviously he's going to come afterwards and saying about, pizzas being on the table or something like that. It's like, dog, ain't nobody trying to hear you. I wouldn't want to hear somebody like that. And then you're coming afterwards trying to, again, throw in them nasty jokes, them omri jokes, them petty kitty little jokes. It's like, dude, come on. Other than your hairline, I mean, your stats are worse than pedestrian, man. Come on, man.
The headline is janky as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you. But the thing is, this is that's what ESPN do. They don't give a lot of, and you mentioned it, Lex. Like, who do you believe? Well, you can believe PPR, man, because we tell it like it is, man. Not gonna let some balding bastard get up here and slam a guy like Zion Williamson, who's a really impressive young fella and really a really good-hearted dude, man. Really doesn't say anything negative about anybody, but he takes a lot of blows from guys like that, and that's why he's fair game for a balding jackass like Stephen A. Smith. But
he is, but I think it's a positive side to that, though, Q. If you haven't noticed, Zion seems to respond extremely well to negative criticism. So when they do this, it's like we get on here and we set them straight, and correct it, because a lot of times it's bullshit, man. They be overblowing things. They catch the dude bad camera angle sometimes, talking about how big he is. Like, y'all think he gained 10 pounds in 2 days? Like, come on now. And you got somebody like Stephen A. Smith, man, who's pretty much phasing out, man. People like him and Skip Bayless, it's a new day, man. People tired of hearing that bullshit of over exaggeration, yelling all the time, and just putting people down. Like, the thing with me with Stephen A. Smith that I don't never hear him put down people of the opposite color, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's always us, and then he attacks people that, in my opinion, like, shouldn't even be attacked.
Yeah.
But
well, that's
him doing a backhanded compliment for Zion is right up his alley. And brother still salty that they didn't get Zion. Because remember the year when we got him, everybody swore to God the Knicks were going to have the number 1 pick.
Yep.
It was the Knicks or the Hawks. Nobody had any idea that it would be the Pelicans. So even though they're winning now, I think he still has that vendetta out, man. It's still a little salty.
Yeah, because the Knicks don't have a superstar. I mean, I know they trying to.
Jalen Brunson maybe. I think he could be.
Brunson's not it, man. Man, hey, let me tell you something.
You talking about his personality or his game?
Just it's there's a difference when you come into the league and your name is big.
Yeah.
Compared to when you're in the league and you're building your name up. That's very, very difficult. There's a huge difference. If you look
like
at
LeBron versus Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jimmy Butler, the dude is cold, but he didn't come in with a lot of hype. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he just didn't. I mean, I think for overseas cats, it's easy to do that. Henceforth, look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. Look at Jokic. Jokic was a second rounder, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they built their names up. Why? Because they have a country behind them. You know what I'm saying? A country. That's a big deal. So, I mean, when you have a country behind you, oh yeah, your brand can grow very fast. But if you're in America, if you're an American basketball player, it's not like that.
Yeah, that is something, man. I see a lot of that in boxing. Matter of fact, a lot of Mexican fighters, country gets behind them. A lot of times the Cubans, same thing. Yeah, it's a fact when the country gets behind you, man. A whole country rides with you. That's something else.
It makes a world of a difference.
It does.
I mean, because I know Earl Spence. He's talked about that. He talks about that a lot. With the black fighters, man. Because it's like there's so much division in this country. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dog, I'm American too. You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't we being supported? It's just kind of weird. How that works, but it is true. And that's why really they have the highest stock. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, Pacquiao, Manny Pacquiao can be like 80 years old. All right, I want to look. Anybody, any and everybody is gonna want to fight him.
Mhm.
Why? You know what I'm saying? He's a big name and he got a country behind him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's quite a few of those guys, man. I see that with it's different with the American fighters, and I think it's because there's so many great American fighters. Like you have a certain amount of fighters that come out of the foreign countries that are actually pretty good, and then you have one or two elite level fighters that just shines through, and then it's the personality, it's a lot to market. So the international value of it is a way that the lawyers that run the NBA are able to kind of use their business practices to kind of get into these countries. That's why they was trying to build up Linsanity some years ago so they can get into that Chinese market over there. So it's all business. That's how they look at it at the end of the day.
Yeah,
But
money.
money, right. Let me pivot to this. Let's hit this question. I want to go over a few things to kind of keep this good energy flowing about it. Let's hit this question here that's on the screen. The question is Zion Williamson in the best shape of his career. Remember, this is all, and this is very true. That right around this time, right before the prior of the training camps and all this kind of stuff, the major emphasis is on, as far as the Pelicans concerned, Zion Williamson, his health. Remember, in the past, it hadn't been the same case. Remember, we got hit a couple of years ago. We got hit with the news that he had a foot issue that they didn't break until that the beginning of the season press conference about Zion Williamson. They kind of held that little giblet. But now it appears like we've seen him at the camp that he was holding, and credit to him doing great things out there with the children and all that, running that free camp. That was nice. Really good for him to do that, by the way. This is let's look at and talk about his health situation going into the season, because this is a big deal in terms of the Pelicans getting to the next level with Zion as the centerpiece. Lex, what do you think about his health based on what you've seen? Willie did say that he was that Zion's in great shape, such and such. But seeing what he looked like on some of those pictures in the video that you're seeing, what do you think about Zion Williamson's health? Is he in the best shape of his career, as the question indicates?
Well, I mean, I don't know about being in the best shape. All we know is that he's skinny. There's a lot of skinny people that are out of shape.
And it's Zion.
But I'm just stating a fact. But I mean, I feel like he is in shape. He has been working with Amy Atmore all off season.
Physical therapist.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that makes a huge difference. It took the Pelicans organization 5 years to get Zion, a player, a generational talent who has a unique body. Okay. No other NBA player has a unique body like Zion. So when you put that in perspective, it took 5 years for the Pelicans to get a physical therapist. Just think if they would have got it for him before he was drafted. Just throwing that out there. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have a number one pick, that all the noise is that he has a unique body, his girth, the power that he has, his quickness, his torque, all that stuff. It's like, are you preparing to get the team that he needs for his uniqueness that's unlike any other NBA player, But yeah, it just took 5 years. It would have been nice to see it, before, but going into this season, Amy Atmore's had an off season with him, a full off season. And so I think because of that and the things that he did coming into the offseason. We saw what he did with the Lakers, 40-11 game. You know, he built off of that. I think he's really built off of that. And just I'm looking at him like even with his interviews, I feel like he's definitely more focused. I see that in his eyes. Like, he seems like, very, very, very ready. So obviously he's been a man of few words, but I think just going into this season, like this is an important season. And I know we say that every year. I mean, every year is important, but I think his body and mentally, it had to go through a transition. There had to be some type of transition because before he was dealing with injuries, they got it to a point, 70 games, they got it to a point, okay, we found something, right? We found something. How can we build off of this? Like, even though team-wise it wasn't successful, and even in a way with Zion, it may have not been successful because he did not play in the playoffs. But on the other hand, it was successful because 70 games was the most games that Zion has played in his career. Only other season was with Stan Van Gundy, and that was like 61 games. So this was a huge step for Zion. Like, hey, I can last for a whole season. Now the next step is I need to last for a whole season and the playoffs. And hopefully it's not like, getting to the playoffs and getting injured in the playoffs, but just staying healthy throughout the whole playoffs. And I think they're thinking about that. I think that's the thought process. Like, look, hey, man, this is year 6. You got to play in the playoffs. That's like a must. We got you to 70 games, the most games you played in a season. Now we got to get you to the playoffs. We got to make sure you're right. You have to have a mega dega year, all-star, all NBA first team. You got to get that. I mean, it's time. It's time. And all that plays a part into it, because if he's playing like that, if he's having that type of season and going into the playoffs, he's, doing all those things and really stepping it up as far as leadership, stepping it up, growth and development mentally, obviously physically. I mean, it's time for the fan base to see that all put together. And I think, definitely he's got to be ready for it. I mean, this has got to be tiring. Like, come on, man. We gotta have Zion Williamson unleashed.
Yeah, if not any time, this time is definitely the time for it. And I think that's the census across the Pelicans nation. Is like last year, 77 games. Let's get a full season. We got close. Let's get a full season. I mean, the man got right there and got hurt. We would like the Lakers game. We was on our way to beating them in that game when he was unstoppable in that game. I mean, he was running over LeBron, making shots over the top of Anthony Davis. He was balling. We were on our way to winning that game. When he went down, it all went to hell. DC health situation with Zion. What's your take on it, bro? Before we kind of move into some of the roster breakdown.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've seen Zion go up and down before in his weight, and you have the pictures come out, and everybody's, "Oh, Zion, look at him." One year he was looking like Bane, and then they pulled it on us another year, and I remember he broke his foot, and then they were like, "Oh, he'll be ready for the start of the season," and he set out a whole year. You know what I'm saying? It's been so many ups and downs with him. But when you really think about it and put everything in perspective, how many normal off seasons has Zion had? 2 of them, he had injury issues, or he ended the season with an injury problem.
Yeah.
Right. His rookie year, he had the lockout year, and you had all of that crazy stuff. And I guess you would say he had that one normal year after his second year, because the season started early after his rookie year because of the COVID thing, and we only played 72 games. They kind of set him out, but he missed 11 games that year, 10 games, something like that. And a lot of them games, I think they just set him out because we didn't really want to compete that year. They knew they were going to fire Stan Van Gundy, right? That was weird, and we went to that with a new head coach, but we say he had a normal offseason, and he got hurt. And then that repeated again. And then you come into like this year, minor injury against the Lakers, and Zion actually had a chance to have a normal offseason. Well, guess what, family? A physical therapist. That's dedicated to him. And you actually brought this up too, Lex. A while back we did a show, and you said the Pelicans weren't ready for a superstar. When I was saying maybe we should take the kid gloves off of Zion, and we should have babied him. That we had to hold it back and forth, right? But you were right. They had no idea what to expect. They were unwilling to push him or have the proper people in place to help manage him. Coach K talked a lot about Zion not being ready in the summer league, and we didn't take heed to that, and he got hurt, right? And we so many things, man. He was like, what is his offseason regimen? Why is Zion away from the team all the time? Well, I noticed something when DeJounte Murray got traded here and he was there and Zion was front and center. At that point, to me, like I remember bringing that up on the show, that was a big deal to me because Zion a year or two ago wouldn't have done that. He would have been off somewhere doing his own thing. So for him to actually be locked in, a big part of it is the money too, because we got to talk about that contract. How if he gets over 290 pounds and he's not, I think 10% body fat or 15% body fat or something like that, he don't get his money. So he's motivated by that. But I also think Zion was very upset with the way the season ended, and for him, if it's true. I'm not gonna get into people say, well, he's 281 now and he looks like that, and he's never been 284 or whatever all that don't matter. But if it's actually true that he's gonna get to 272, that shows me that he was upset by how that year ended. And he coming back this year and he taking all prisoners, man. He want all the smoke. Zion is gonna have MVP type season if he gets to 271 or 272 or whatever that number that they said he's going to get to, because I think for him to take all of that weight off, he's going to be so much faster. He's going to jump higher. He's already a veteran now. He's smarter. I know he's learned a lot last year from that Lakers game, those late stretches, and just being able to play 70 games last year, seeing how teams are guarding him. And with the addition to all of the weapons we have on this team, the brother is going to be virtually unstoppable if he gets down to that weight and he maintains this all the way up to the start of training camp, because we've seen these pictures before. We've seen Zion lose weight before and then some type of way gain it back, or you look at him, it's like, well, what happened? Or he gets injured and has these setbacks. I think the tide is finally turning, and I think we're gonna be in for something special this year with Zion. Like you said, Lex, his interviews, that started to change probably like a year or so to me. He started to get a lot more short, more focused in his interviews, to the point, no BS. And I think he tired of waiting, and hopefully the Pels taking heed and we can figure out what we're gonna do with our roster to make sure we have everything we need during the season, because we know Brandon Ingram more than likely has to get traded from this team, and we're gonna need the right fit, or at least some nice role players and picks for the future to be able to set us up to have sustainable organic success.
Oh man, that last part you got real griffy.
Because
With the polarities and the polarities.
he one of the main things messing us up, man. I mean, this could have been fast tracked a long time ago
It
with
could
so
have
many
been.
common sense things that could have been done to where
Yeah.
we could be getting this version of Zion probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, the mentality was not there. And I've mentioned that many a times. Just when Zion came, you know, and Griff, in a way, he's still holding on to that mentality because he has not come out and said that this is Zion's team. We're building around Zion. He's yet to do that. And I think that's, and he's beating around the bush too with it, which is really sad. It's like everybody else, I hear everybody else saying like, hey, Zion is the centerpiece. He's the guy we're building around. But the person who really does need to say it, he's not even saying it. We're saying that.
Maybe he don't need to say it. Maybe
He did it with Drew Holiday.
That was actually a lie, though, Lex.
but I'm saying whether it was we know he's a BSer.
You have permission to dominate. Some guys, you need to give them permission to dominate.
But the thing is, it's like
super weird, man.
When Zion was at Duke, he already had pressure on him. And then when he got to the Pelicans, it's like they rescinded all the pressure. They were like, no, Zion is not the savior of this team.
It might be, you know what?
No, as a number one pick, dude, you just lost Anthony Davis. He is the savior of this franchise. You're going backwards with this thing. Oh, we don't want to put too much pressure. See, that started, the attitude reflects leadership.
Right. He didn't want to put too much pressure. But he didn't want to put pressure on him, though, Lex.
But the thing is, pressure is how you get a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you also have a guy that doesn't want to put that much pressure on the team at the time because
the
injury history that was dealing with Zion Williamson.
You got to say it right.
That's what happened.
Has PTSD because of LeBron. That's what this is about.
That's true too.
It ain't that. He wants all the power. He doesn't want anybody to realize their power. So he rescinds it, and especially by Zion being as young as he is. Who's putting pressure on Griff?
Nobody's putting pressure on Griff.
Pressure. You see what I'm saying? Pressure.
No pressure.
So he can continue. Look, pressure makes diamonds. So if he has no pressure, we know he ain't no diamond.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, anybody who was a real diamond wouldn't talk as much BS. He uses his BS skills to flim-flam. Oh, he flim-flams. He flim-flams with some of the best. The only problem is that being from where we that don't work on us. We go right through all of the fancy talk and the gobbledygook, and we look right at the wins and losses that you accumulated in the time that you've been here, and it's a sub 500 record. So, I mean, you have had Zion Williamson dealing with injury issues over the last several years, which makes him pretty hesitant in putting the crown on Zion as the centerpiece. But now, with how the offseason has been handled so far, you got DeJounte Murray here. They have no choice but to hold on to Brandon Ingram for this year and make moves as such. So the Pelicans going to play it out the way they, what David Griffin says, which gives us the perfect segue to this.
Maybe he won't put that pressure on himself too, Q.
This is true too. DC, no pressure. That's why it's all he didn't none of that. Only people putting pressure on the Pelicans front office is people, the diehards. Like me, you, Lex. We all putting pressure on the dude. I calls him out more than anybody, man. And that's what you gotta do. You can't be kissing his ass like some of these beat writers do. But anyway, Will Guillory says, I've been told the Pelicans are getting together for a voluntary minicamp in California next week, and the entire roster plans to be in attendance. He tweeted this in the morning, this morning. And this is also another one right here. He says the club is looking Said I think Tice is supposed to be there as well. I think it was a report saying that Tice was supposed to be there as well. So that's
No, I heard
no.
Tice is not going to be there. He's the only one that won't make it. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing Green, who's our new guy we signed, hopefully he'll be there too. But
yes.
I know Tice is out.
Okay.
According to yourself, Mr. Will Guillory, you reported that earlier today. I don't know, you forgot.
I think you played that on your guitar, DC. So we all right. But anyway, that's the perfect segue, man, to this article right here, man. Lex enjoyed it. All right, this is Ali. Shout out to Ali Cosell, man. Javonte Green is a smart pickup for the Pelicans. Was one of the best remaining free agents and fits small ball, fast paced attack, fantastic rebound at his size. Think Josh Hart, bounty for athleticism, highlight dunks. Yeah, I was looking up the dunks. He's a high flyer, blocks per 36 minutes, and can hit threes, 37% last 2 years. So that's one of the things they talk about. Also, they mentioned that it's a 1-year deal that's fully guaranteed as we kind of move in. So you're getting Javonte Green added to Pelican staff, man, as we move into this unofficial depth chart right here that shows all of the Pelicans players. As you can see him as we kind of light it up right here. They even go into the G League stuff. They talk about some of these guys here. The guys of Jared, what is that, Harper? Well, that's old stuff, but DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Javonte Green, Trey Murphy III, Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins, Daniel Tice, Yves Misi, Matt Ryan, Uncle Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Antonio Reeves, Carlo Mekovic. You also have Jamal Cain, Trey Jemison, and they got Malcolm Hill up here. A lot of talent right here. Let's kind of walk it through, fam, if you mind. Let's start with the starters. Y'all could pick as we kind of roll through this thing.
Who started?
The 5 starters currently, according to the unofficial date, they got Zion at the 5 here. But if we use the ESPN model of it, they have DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, BI, Zion, and of course, I think the center is
Turn them back blue, Big Q. They're grayed out.
Hold on. I get it. There you go. All right, can y'all see that?
Yeah, sort of. If I get close enough to the screen.
Yeah, highlight them like that. There you go.
Put your glasses on, DC, if you can't see them, brother.
Everybody's not fortunate to have the exuberant studio you have, BQ. Sorry.
The exuberant what?
Studio you have with all those damn monitors.
Well, you did that reggae album in the studio, brother. You had the one you had the 6 songs on.
I shot the sheriff.
Y'all getting off track now.
But I didn't shoot.
One thing has nothing to do with the other.
Ooh.
And I shot the official. I did not shoot the referee.
You can't be shooting officials. That's Lex. Lex is an official.
Right. Well, Lex is a referee. I ain't shooting no referees.
She's official. She's an official as well. That's what they call the referees. The officials. They're officials. She's official. All right. Anyway, let's get into now. The 5 starters. Obviously, we talk about the backcourt of the Pelicans, DeJounte Murray, which perceived to be CJ McCollum. Let's kind of walk down this stuff, if you please. Let's keep a rhythm to it. Let's talk about
we gotta fix that shooting guard position. I think they don't know how to pronounce Trey Murphy right.
They don't know how.
Herb Jones could play shooting guard, and Trey Murphy can play small forward.
This lineup is a political lineup, just to let y'all know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a straight up political lineup.
That's all you need. All your money is starting in this lineup, Lex. All your money.
I mean, that's what it is, though. It's politically correct. You know, I mean, they're not going to start Zion at center, but obviously we know that, man, that is just brewing in Willie Green's mind. Oh my gosh, it's brewing. He's salivating everything. But go on, BQ. What you talking?
Well, they do have DeJounte at the point guard position, CJ McCollum. We talked about this before now. We kind of looked at it, but while I like this because it shows us not only the players, but it also shows, the money that's attached to them. Got pretty much a really good overview of everything. Games, points per game, stuff like that. It shows the money as well. So Murray and CJ McCollum, let's say, you see McCollum at 33 in the third at the point guard, at the off guard position. A lot of people don't have problems with off guard, off ball CJ McCollum, except for his defense. Offensively speaking, he works with his 3-point shooting. We didn't want to see this lineup because we wanted Herb Jones to be to have that backcourt. That'll be really awesome to see those guys, and perhaps we'll see them at times. But 33 and third speaks a great deal. A lot of them are predicting that to be, like I said, this is not settled in stone. But let's just look at the potentiality of either of these lineups as we go down to the each player breakdown. So what are your perspective on, Lex, starting with you, DeJounte Murray's impact to the Pelican squad? What do you think and how he plays with this team? What do you think he brings and how he can fix some of the ills that we've seen last year?
I mean, obviously he can give us stability in the closing minutes, closing seconds of a game, just in clutch situations. If things are getting disarray, obviously the game goes through ebbs and flows, ups and downs and things. So he can really step in and be like, okay, hey, let's calm everything down. Let's get set up. You know what I'm saying? Get into a rhythm, pick up the momentum, things of that nature. Because the thing is, even though, this is a running defensive team, the thing is that you will have teams that will try to slow you down. You will have games where the calls are really tight. Like the calls that the referees are calling doesn't even allow you to gain any type of momentum or get a rhythm, a flow to the game. And so when those things happen, a guy like Murray can maneuver through all those things a whole lot more smoothly. Because there's a lot of things that can disrupt the rhythm of a game. So I think the biggest thing is just in the closing minutes, closing seconds, but also just also reading the game, reading the vibe of the game, reading the flow of the game, understanding, okay, we need to get the ball in that man's hands. He needs to touch the ball. I think there was too many times where, Zion would have some things going, and then all of a sudden he didn't touch the ball for like 4 or 5 minutes. And it's like stuff like that's a problem. That's a problem. So I'm really hoping that, hey, reading the game, reading situations, understanding mismatches, that's one thing the Pelicans do not do. They don't take advantage. Well, last season, they didn't take advantage of mismatches, and the veteran teams, the LeBron James and the KDs and the Stephs, teams like those, they can see, I got a mismatch. So guess what? That throws whatever play that y'all had in mind doing, that throws that out the window because that dude right there has a mismatch and we need to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's reading the game. You have to read that. You have to understand that. And if Zion is a walking mismatch, y'all see where I'm getting at? You know what I'm saying? Get the ball to that man right there, because good things happen. Zion is a willing passer. You know what I'm saying? Use that man's gravity. You know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna speed around you or back you down, or getting downhill. It'll get ugly. And trust me, if 4 or 5 people are on him, somebody open. Somebody gonna get the ball. And I hope they're ready to knock down that shot.
Yeah, Lexxah. Yeah, we got a lot of shooters around the dude. I mean, If you look at it like that, you should see the 3-point shooting that CJ McCollum did. Actually, pretty respectable shooting. We just got Trey there. Jordan Hawkins is there as well. And, you got Matt Antonio Reeves. We'll see what happens with him. Matt Ryan still there. So, I mean, they have some players around. DC, Zion Williamson, man. Let's talk about Zion in the front court. Zion, BI. Okay. You all right?
ESPN, bro. what was your question? I didn't even hear you, bro. This shit was loud as hell.
It sounded like you slid it. You trying to change some oil. You had the oil pan. You slipped up under the car or something. He's trying to change some oil or something. I don't know. Zion Williamson.
I never knew Monday Night Football highlights sound like changing oil, whatever.
That didn't sound like no highlights to me, brother. It sounded like you was changing some oil or whatever. But anyway,
Zion, you need to get your ears tuned up. That's what you need. But what about Zion?
All right. Why you sound like you're in the closet? All right. So anyway, front court. Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, front court. DC. Who break down the front court for the Pelicans starting 5 in your mind, bro?
Man, that's a real awkward fit, to be honest.
It's discombobulated.
Yeah, it is. Zion and BI in the front court isn't the lineup I was excited about when I'm thinking about Zion at the 5. No defense. None at all.
Herb's in it.
Layup line. Comes to my thoughts on BI and Zion being in front court. But with DeJounte out there regulating the action, I think offensively that would still be a very dynamic lineup. I just would like to have another shooter out there, unless BI is going to transform into his 2019 form. But this is a purely offensive lineup anyway, with DeJounte, CJ, Herbert, Ingram, and Zion out there, man. I think it's a way you could exploit a team, but again, like not the version of BI I seen where he likes to post up on the elbow, man.
Yeah.
Him and Zion in the front court and him doing that, like so is Zion going, when he posts up on the elbow and he's getting into his set and in the half court, Zion's gonna go stand in the dunker spot on the opposite side? Like what is he doing? What, he gonna wait for the rebound? Like nah, that ain't what I want to see. I want to see if you are going to put Zion at the 5 for limited stretches, I would like to see a lineup where you're going to spread it out. BI can do that, but that's why I mentioned it. He would have to change his game, man, to more of that 2019 form. But then again, he wouldn't have the same green light because you don't want BI taking a bunch of shots. Like, we got all of these guys that need the ball now. Zion is the main guy, right? So everything should revolve around him. So, I mean, shit, BI going to be power forward standing in the corner in that lineup.
It is kind of hard to say. Well, no, actually, it's not. I just feel like this is the same situation as last year, but we don't really know what version.
Why do you say it's the same? Though?
Well, as far as the situation, because they didn't get an extension done, so it's still up for that. So it's like we saw how he responded. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, DeJounte, he may change that a little bit, but I mean, I feel like Brandon's game is Brandon's game at this point. I mean, he's been in he's been in the league for like 9 seasons. So, I don't know. I mean, I know he's here. They gotta, use him, obviously. But man, like, I just feel like the physicality, I don't think it's changed. And when I say that, I'm saying like, how teams got physical with the Pelicans? I still feel like there's not a whole lot of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
There really isn't. I still
Do
feel
you
like
think
a
it
lot
has
of
to be
teams.
muscle or attitude? I think it's more of an attitude adjustment
Yeah,
than actual muscle.
Brandon's personality's not gonna change. CJ, he's it's not gonna change. That's who they are.
What
Like,
about DeJounte though? You don't think him being a point guard and we obviously gonna have to run a lot more pick and roll? You don't think that would
no, I mean
change
DeJounte.
anything?
I mean DeJounte, like he has the attitude, but I mean, this
At
team
fifth,
needs more, man. I mean, they need more.
Hmm.
Think about who he's going up against.
What
Okay.
about Green, the new cat we signed? What is his name? Javante Green.
Yeah, he plays.
I hear a lot of good stuff about him. He's like
Something.
a version of Najee, from what I can see, and
I think
Najee Josh Hart
attitude,
hybrid.
yeah,
the
but
attitude really has to kind of match the physique. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we don't have where both of them meet each other. Like, we have guys where they either don't have that at all, or you have guys that just have one of them. But then you'd have to look at matchups, because there are some teams that have big guards. But
I'm gonna be honest, Lex. I think Zion. I think Zion has that. I just
Zion.
see it
I
as
mean, everybody knows Zion
it's
got it.
not
It's
fully
part of his game.
mature. No, it's not fully mature though. To be there consistently and kind of do some of them things that can turn the game with just attitude, like knowing when to stand down, when to step up, when to get attacked, when to um if he changes or matures, I think that filters throughout the whole team along with DeJounte Murray. But I definitely see what you're saying. I just think it's a question mark. Like I think it can
Yeah.
be different
A lot of
because
stuff is a question mark, DC. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that question
But
mark.
I'm
That's
just
a
saying,
good
like
question.
you don't see it as it can be different with DeJounte Murray. Also, like
I
what I
mean,
was talking about with Brandon Ingram,
think about
his
this.
style of play is different with a point guard that
Even
has the ball in their
but
hands, in
even
my opinion.
when the Pelicans did not have a point guard and they had Jonas Valanciunas, think about this. Teams were still getting very physical with the Pelicans. So now you get smaller, obviously. You actually get some a position that needed to be fulfilled for a long time, but you lose a starting center. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really feel like teams are going to, like, hey, this team is actually small. They're small. Like, we can push them around. And let me tell you something. Jose, I love Jose. But Jose ain't gonna be able to handle all that. You know what I'm saying? Or Javante Green. But it'll just I'm just looking at the fact on how teams are gonna be playing the Pelicans. How can we beat this team? And getting really physical with the Pelicans is definitely the number one thing. Because that's what teams started doing, and it was working.
yeah, that's true, Lex. I mean, yeah, that's Golden State and a lot of that Draymond stuff get physical with the Pelicans, gets them out of the element, which is not a good
Yeah,
sign.
it's
Yeah.
I don't see it more as like teams. I mean, I know we're smaller, and do have some teams that can physically impose their will on us because of us being small. But
Yeah. Especially playing small ball.
I see it more of an attitude adjustment that they need to have. I think we have enough of what we need to not get bullied, but also our style of play. Again, we're looking at teams being big and physical going up against them. We're really fast and switchable, so it's also like a counter we have in the way that it looks like the Pels are going to play. Like if we're on a night where we getting out and running and we getting in transition and they trying to be big and physical, but we still in transition, they can't. So when you start playing a game to where you don't have to adapt to what's being done to you, but what you're doing, the other team has to adapt to. So we got all of these guys now. We still ain't figured out the bench rotation. We gonna have 2 starters coming off the bench.
We
So
haven't figured out the starting
we
rotation.
ain't figured out the starting rotation.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
because really only 2 spots are clear to me.
right. But my thing is this: when another team's put their second unit out there, regardless of who our starting rotation is, even if it's CJ and we don't like it or whatever, we still got 2 starters coming off our bench or whatever we're gonna put together with the other team. I think in the regular season, a lot of these things, you know, I guess not bite us, but in the playoffs, it's always gonna come down to what you're saying, because that's when certain fouls don't get called even more so. They just letting you play, and if you out there getting mauled or hacked, and you don't have the common sense to, you better dish it back out what they giving you. Then yeah, we're gonna be in the same position we were in last year. But to me, it's more of an adjustment in their thought process and their attitude that they have to have. We small, we gonna be small. I think we can be successful being small, but if they have the same mentality they had last year with what we have and losing JV with a lot of physicality that he brings, that's definitely a huge problem. And I mean, shit, it still is a huge problem because we really don't have a starting center. But for the regular season, we can get by. We really got to look at what they're gonna do with Brandon Ingram and pulling off a trade during the season to try and fill that void, or you got to hold your breath and hope a guy like Yves Mises or our other rookie, I don't know why I can't think of his name, Meritage, Mekovic can step up and become the 5 that we thought we would need, or he could be, whatever. So
Makovic is considered a rookie?
Yeah, he's been a drafting stash.
I mean, but he's played in
Oh
the
yeah,
G
yeah, he kind of
yeah, that's why I was like Antonio Reeves was the only, it was Antonio and Eves, but
yeah, you're right. Because he can't, we actually added him to the roster at the end of the season. That's why I'm still thinking him a rookie. Like the last 20 games or something, I think they added him to the roster and sent him to the G League. I don't know why we needed to do that then, but whatever.
It's the Pelicans.
We added him to the roster and didn't allow him to get no playing time in a real game.
Just don't make sense.
Let's kind of look at it. Because y'all mentioned the front court, some of the backcourt stuff. We talked about the center position is not a key person that you can go to. If you got the Pelicans, I mean, yeah, the front court as well. I mean, you know what you got to do. It's a team of, it's a situation where you just got to make it work. This is what Willie Green is being given to do, and he got to make it work in his 4th year. The center position, even though the Pelicans,
JRE center minutes, that's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying, yeah. What happens is,
I keep forgetting that he's on the team.
You got to.
You're not gonna forget what the team start, Lex. Willie Green will remind you.
That's the thing, though. Like, if you have all these players,
a lot of question marks, man.
Jose Alvarado, how he did well off the bench. You got some bench. You got to be able to put together a good bench rotation. You got Jordan Hawkins coming off the bench. You got who else we got? Players coming off the bench.
What happened to you, Big Q?
We got, what else we got here? Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy's coming off the bench. Perhaps Daniel Tice is coming off the bench. Who knows, man? With the center position, nobody knows. Even though it's speculated that Tice might be the guy that starts, but you take Yves Mises with a pick at some point. Your boy got to be playing Yves and giving him some minutes so he can develop, and hopefully, based on whatever happens with BI, we do have a center that we put a first round draft pick into that you can actually develop right now. So hopefully Willie Green does provide the man some opportunities, some minutes to play. Now you're gonna see him be a paratrooper because he was jumping all over the place in the summer league. We've seen him doing it. So you got a lot of paratrooper in him. So you gotta calm that down a bit. But he does run the floor well. He runs the floor very well. He shot blocked. He gets up there. He's a lob threat. So he has potential. So, like I said, it's all based on how Willie do. So let's kind of go through the rest of it because there's still a lot of talent that we have. That's why I like the Pelicans team. The center position is up in the air, and the BI thing is going to linger.
Back up power forward in the center, man. That's when it's kind of weird.
Well, you got 4. Take your pick. You got Tice. You got 4 different types of centers that could help you. Like, even though you made mention of the fact that the Pelicans are small, Yves is 7 feet tall and he runs.
I'm not gonna lie, Q. I'm holding my bet on Mekovic, man. I'm hoping Mekovic pans out to be something. The fact that he can shoot the 3 ball, he has the athleticism.
He has that
kind of guard on the perimeter a little bit. He seems to be pretty smart from what I saw in the G League. He's just got a nice little game to him, man. It hasn't been shown against professionals, and
he played professional overseas, right?
Well, no, I mean like in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
In the NBA. So you're right. You play professional overseas, but it hasn't been shown against NBA vets if he can have that same level of play as he did in the G League and the Summer League. But out of all the centers we have, man, to me, he's the one with the highest upside if he turns into his best version that he could possibly be. So
it's a question mark?
Everything is a question mark with the center position.
All right.
All of it.
No, I was just summing up what you were saying. So
I say I'm holding my breath on Meritage. I'm hoping.
But who gets the minutes? That's what it comes down to, because
you got to give him to Daniel Tice, man. That's the only one that makes
Daniel
sense.
Tice
Tice
has
has to have 40-something minutes.
Tice ain't gonna be
disciplined.
He ain't gonna be the ball in minutes because Tice is a limited option.
Well, just because you start doesn't mean that you won't get minutes. I mean,
exactly.
like, and we have to separate the two. You know what I'm saying? Just being named the starter does not mean that you're going to get starter minutes. They've said many a times where somebody will come off the bench and they get starter minutes. You know, so I mean and I think that's a point where a lot of people were even talking about with CJ as far as coming off the bench.
Exactly.
CJ does come off the bench. We all know that he is not going to get a bench role minutes.
You don't want him to.
He's going to get starter minutes. So, you have to separate those two. Like, I think, don't be tunnel vision. Just because you're starting doesn't mean that you're going to get starting minutes. So
you said the backup 4, DC?
Yeah, I don't like who's gonna take over that Najee role. Najee was basically our backup power forward. Who's gonna be that? We gonna put Trey Murphy in that role, or is he gonna be the backup 3? Is he gonna be starting? I guess
Robinson Earl is the candidate, right? Unless you feel comfortable with Trey. But maybe, but Jeremiah Robinson.
It depends. I don't know what the starting lineup is, because if Trey and Herb is on the bench, then yeah, it would have to be Trey. Right. But
they ain't gonna do that.
What's the starting lineup? So it's like
it's a question mark,
right?
That's one
don't
thing.
Really know. Are they looking at Meritage? Meritage is a guy. He's a center, but I could see him as a power forward too. I think he could play that like a. Man,
you think Meritage is going to get more minutes than Jeremiah Robinson Earl and Willie Green's system?
Q, I'm saying I'm trying to be hopeful and
I'm just asking a question, brother.
The way I would like it to go. No, I don't trust Willie to not lean heavily on JRE, but that ain't what I want, and I don't think that's the best decision for our team. Although he's not a horrible player, so the brother is not garbage. So,
no,
but I just think we have better options, and we got other guys that need minutes over him. And to me, he's more of a, if things don't work out, you put him in. You're looking at Matt Ryan, man. I mean, is he still going to be on the team? Because we just signed Green, so they might let Matt Ryan go. I don't know what's going on with that.
You know what? That dude ain't gonna know what to do with this roster.
He not, Lex. But I mean, all right, what if he gets the starting lineup right? Then I
every
think
time you name a person, I'm like, oh man, they ain't gonna get in the game.
He gonna figure this out.
Like, man,
ain't got no choice. We got to figure it out.
It's kind of hard to mess it up though, in a way though, Lex, because you got two guys that's gonna be that's gonna be starters that have to come off the bench.
So, last season was the season where both Brandon and Zion were available. Like most of the team was available. And you know what? That dude never figured it out.
I mean, he got 49 wins. He got a few. They say he didn't figure nothing out.
He did all right, Lex.
Based off the talent. You know what I'm saying?
But if the talent wasn't on the floor, it can't be utilized.
I mean, listen, what could
you see? You ain't helping nothing here, brother.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I don't think his rotations were as bad as I've seen them be before. Like I've seen his rotations be worse than they were last year.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point is. Let's not pretend like the brother ain't getting better. A little bit getting better. This is Murray's going to have an impact with Willie.
It's incremental.
It's incremental, right? So what I'm saying is how big it's his fourth year. Right, this is his fourth NBA season. I hear you go, Lex. Here you go with the pick and roll stuff. Here she goes.
No. Okay. Imagine taking a step forward. Okay.
Like I said, we're gonna take a big step forward. Yeah. Okay.
A big step.
Yeah.
But then you take 2 steps back. Is that
ain't happening?
Progression?
We dancing, baby. We dancing.
That ain't happening.
Because that's what he was doing.
We doing a Cupid
He found something. He went away from it. Got worse. Then it was like, take 5 steps. We're back to the original step. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That you got to, but it's like, no, you're stagnant. You didn't progress.
We have. We will.
Hey, I hope so, man. Look, Willie, man, I just keep going back to the DeJounte Murray person.
I'm saying, even though
that dude didn't even advance in the playoffs, and when you saw him, that dude looked like he aged like for 10 years or something. Why did you age? And it's only been 2 months, dog.
Because he's been studying tape, Lex.
I think the man was.
No, you don't stress over studying tape.
Man was constipated, man. That's what it looked like to me.
Oh, Q said he was constipated. God damn.
That's what he looked like to me. He was constipated up there.
Why did he age?
My bottom line is what I'm saying about the whole situation with Willie Green is just simple. You can't. Lex, I know you don't
love all the problems the way Q. That's what you was saying.
No, DC, cut it out, okay? All right, you can't love this thing away. It takes skill and it takes proper planning. And what I'm saying is, at the end of the day,
it takes compassion and joy and mindfulness. That's what it takes.
Excuse me, sir. All I can say is this: he has the talent this year. He has a point guard that'll operate the team. You can't take that away from him. DeJounte Murray means a lot to this team because he makes sure everybody stay where they need to be, and that everybody at the right times of the game get the ball in the right and proper positions. He brings higher IQ to what the Pelicans had before. Remember, they were lacking this last year. In those pressurized situations when the Pelicans were taking those terrible, stupid-ass shots, when they would have had a floor general out there, a lot of these games where the Pelicans let get away with them would have been wins. That's what DeJounte he solves a lot, not all of it, but he solves a great deal of it. Plus the fact that, I'm not a supporter of CJ being in the starting lineup, but if CJ is going to be there, he does bring the 3-point shooting. He is an issue defensively. But if that is indeed the case, and you have whether it's Reeves or is it probably Daniel Tyson there as the starting center, that does put Trey, Herb, with Jose off the bench. So that's 3 guys off the bat right there. That's pretty good. Plus, if Willie uses Uncle Robinson Earl in any capacity, you still have those other bigs.
Put Hawk in there?
I mean, he's a part of it too. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You have a a good 4 or 5 guys off the bench. You can go 5 for 5 if you're really talented. But once again, and then there are other players that we're not talking about. Hold on, DC. Let me.
Willie is not going 5 for 5, bro. You can get that
Hold
dream
on,
up. You've been
brother.
saying that
Listen.
for like 3 years, bro. It ain't gonna happen.
No, brother. He was doing it a little bit several years ago. We had a couple of them going in there. He did have a little 5 for 5 rotation.
Everybody was injured.
When people started getting injured, but he had a deep bench, and we was talking about the Pelicans have beach. That's how he developed some.
Then when they got healthy,
Jose Alvarado, Najee Marshall was all those guys that came up off that bench and developed into solid players for the Pelicans, brother. And then that's the same principle he has to use. But in year number 4, he has no choice but to expand his roster because he got players that he has to develop, that has to see time. So this is going to be a difficult coaching job for Willie Green, but that's the kind of side news. But the good news is that he has the talent to coach with. I mean, like I said, it means a lot when you have a really good point guard, and this guy used to be, he's an off guard in his place, but he's a head coach with a somewhat of a guard mentality, with a guard there with him to kind of speak his principles to help guide this team. So, I mean, in the end, I see it as a benefit. I don't think the man gonna turn into some top 5 or top 10 coach. But what I'm saying is it does mean something positive, that you do have proper pieces you could be able to utilize depending on the imagination of the head coach. That's what it comes.
Can I ask you a question? Because you made an interesting point there.
I always do, brother. Just go ahead and fire.
He won't be a top 5 or top 10 coach. So where would you rank Willie?
I said, bro, listen, we ain't gonna talk about that right now. We keeping it strictly
bottom 5.
Okay, we're gonna let the flock in the chat rank them. Okay, we're gonna let the flock rank them. All right, let the flock rank them. All right, we already know what Lex don't even have to say.
Don't.
Lex don't have to say. Willie don't like Willie Green. Damn. All right, so how about let me throw a few of these other guys at you as well, fam.
That's a very polite way, Big Q, of saying you got him ranked somewhere in the high 20s, though.
I didn't say any of it.
Oh wow! Hey, read what Stacy said.
Nah, surely they got to be at least 3 coaches worse than Willie. At least.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. But see, it like I said, it's a team effort.
He's the number 1 motivator, though. I'll give him that.
He's a team effort. It's a team effort. Not the guys. Yes, it is.
He used to be.
Yes, it is.
He's a one-trick motivational pony. No.
Well, you know what, Lex? Willie does get everybody on the team brought in defensively. So I mean,
DC.
I have to give him
because Brandon admitted that he didn't. He wasn't bothering him.
DC, ranking down on your coach is not a good attribute, brother. You doing that, ranking down on your coach. When it's the only one you got. When he's the only one you got. So at the end of the day,
assistant coaches. I ain't saying nothing bad about them.
I'm saying your head coach right now, brother.
We just had an assistant coach in the Big 3 was the defensive player of the year, man. We got some hell of a coaches over
yeah, but he's an assistant. He's a positional guy. He's not. He has no impact. He has no impact on what's going on, like at the higher level. I mean, he might have a comment or two in there, but Willie Green's the head coach. He got a top assistant.
Sure. Yeah,
it's like this: who's the better coach, JJ Redick or Willie Green?
Willie Green.
A tough one. Nah, for real. I'm gonna take Willie Green over
JJ Redick never did it before.
I can't even clown like that. I'm taking Willie Green over JJ.
That's a tough one. You see, I thought you was a down hard Pelican, man. We never give nothing to the Lakers. Come on, man. Give nothing to no Lakers, man. JJ Redick never done it before. He could talk. He talked his ass off on television.
Splitting hairs.
Splitting hairs. Willie Green.
Appreciate you.
Y'all guys are something else. Okay, let's talk about some of the other guys that could be possible before we get into the 3 questions politely provided by Lex. Let's talk about thought processes on guys like Jamal Cain. Let's go Jamal Cain. We talked about Javonte Green, but he's to me like the player with a lot of the X behind him. We know we seen what Antonio Reeves could do. We seen him in early on. What's the thought process on guys like Jamal Cain? What do you guys think that Cain adds, or Javonte Green? Those guys add to the Pelican squad. Will they be able to make an impact to the team? I know Green averaged 12 points a game. I was watching film on Jamal Cain
over his last 9 games. Make sure you say that part.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
wait, he went average 12 points a game. I saw
Yeah,
that
it's
too. I
9.
went and looked up. I was like, oh man, that was over his last 9 games.
Yeah, that was on the little chart I just put up when I was showing the Pelicans roster, was showing that he did average 12 over 9 games. So
I
yeah.
like him though. I like him a lot. But,
Okay, what do you think about him or Jamal Cain? What's your thought process on
I
him?
think Jamal Cain is the backup plan if he not working out. Basically, it's two similar guys. You got, we trying to stock up that wing position, man. Which tells me they really are obviously, looking to trade Brandon Ingram. So they want to have some wings still there. And once we lose Brandon Ingram, we done already lost Najee Marshall. You got to have somebody in case of injury. I think we're just stocked, man. I'm really intrigued to see coming out of the training camp, going into preseason, what guys are going to be activated and, out there getting some minutes, because Jamal Cain, from everything I saw with the Heat, man, as well as Green, these are two players that when you look at the opposing teams and a lot of their fans, they both were extremely upset to lose these guys. And they had nothing but positive things to say about him. Jamal Cain made a lot of flashy plays, similar to Green. He's got some bounce to him. Pretty solid defender. He has some games where he really jumped off the page in the G League and all that. But as you can see during the season, I mean, the man averaged 3.7 points. It's all potential and woulda, coulda, shoulda, what he could do or could be. Is that potential going to be realized? And Green, I think I would say, is a little further ahead than him. So this guy, Jamal Cain, I think is basically like breaking case of emergency, man. I mean, he's got a two-way spot for us, so he's not on the active roster. Javonte Green, on the other hand, he's been doing it and doing it pretty good for the Bulls. Over the last 4 years, he's been there. He reminds me a lot of Najee. I do remind me a little bit of Josh Hart when I see him rebounding, man, because he's not that big. What is he about? They got him listed at 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
And he's in there with the trees, man, getting boards. You know what I'm saying? So he averaged 12 points, 7 rebounds over the last 9. So it's like, if you're gonna lean into small ball, this is a guy you want. You know what I'm saying? And he's a really good perimeter defender. On top of that, in transition, man's a highlight reel. He can jump out the gym, put somebody on a poster. He's improved his 3-point shot with 37% over the last 9. You see there. He got a nice little corner 3. He ain't nobody you could put in and expect him to be Trey Murphy or nothing, but I think he can fill that Najee role, man. And we might not miss a whole lot of what Najee did by signing this guy, man. So him at the power forward, which I've read that he's played some minutes at, I don't know how I feel about all of that. It's a little too deep in the small ball. But he's listed as a guard and probably a 3. I could see him playing that 3 position, man. But you got him. Is Herb gonna be on the bench? You know what I'm saying? Is Trey gonna be on the bench? So we're not gonna play him at 3. Are we gonna put Javonte Green at guard? Like, is Matt Ryan gonna be here? Is he gonna play?
Living roster,
Is
bro.
Hawk gonna give some minutes? Like, it's come on, Q. You got to see why Lex is saying she don't trust Willie. We have an abundance of riches in talent, bro. But it has to be formulated and placed together properly for us to maximize it, because we got a lot of guys in the same spots. They do different things, but they're in the same position groups.
Well, DC,
and a lot of them are good.
We got to get
like, how are we going to get our best people on the court and match up well?
Well, it depends. It depends, because we got to go through preseason. We got to find out who's ready to ball, who can play, and get it all set up.
Unless we're making a move, man. I just the way the team is constructed, I could see the Pelicans making a move before the preseason even gets here. And I think Matt Ryan's contract is, if we get rid of him, is what, $2 million or something like that. That
2.1.
2.1 that they can get back.
Yeah,
that they can get back. They can basically release him before the official start of preseason.
Man.
Oh, look at all the guys we got, Lex, and it's like so many. You got at least 3 good guys here that probably won't get any minutes.
This roster is a huge question mark.
No, it's not.
If they play Javonte
It
Green
is.
like
It
and
is.
Hawk and
Lex,
Jose
you're just looking at the center. That's what you're
and
looking
Trey
at.
Murphy,
No, I'm
where's
not.
Matt Ryan
Come
gonna
on,
get
Big
minutes?
Q. Are you for real?
You're looking at the center, right?
No.
What you looking at, Lex? What you looking at?
I'm looking at everything, and I'm looking at the mentality of the head coach of this team.
Oh, we already been there though. We just talked
But
about
I'm just saying, it is a question mark. Listen, let's go back to the presser. It's going to be challenging to find minutes.
Come on, Lex, you
But
gotta
you know,
what he meant by that. He was talking about how talented the team was. That's what he was thinking.
The team is talented, but the thing is that look, like if the game needs a shooter for Willie Green, he's gonna interpret that, hey, let's put defense in there. Like, that's not what that meant. Okay? I mean, it's not hard when you know your personnel. When you know your guys, when you know who has the best synergy. Let's think about this. Zion and Trey Murphy had the best synergy, but he did not really have them playing together. He had Trey Murphy subbing in for Zion. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, how did you not know that? That's obvious, right? And so if you're not doing what's obvious, the things that are not obvious, you expect me to believe that this dude's gonna get it right, and he couldn't even have them 2 dudes playing?
I'm saying, Lex, what what you're saying is facts, and I'm saying that was an issue, and he had a lot of issues last year getting stuff together. But like I said, he did some positive stuff where you're able to get the team to win 49 games. So I mean, he had some positive stuff. His adjustments needed some work. His feel of the game needs a lot of work. A lot of his game period needs a lot of work.
Big Q, we're gonna love it all the way.
Hold on, brother. I'm just saying at the end of the day is Willie Green is under pressure to win. He is. Is Willie Green. He has a very talented team.
Designed it that way too.
That's right. Now y'all starting to see where I'm going with this whole situation when we talked about Willie Green. The octopus is notorious. He's diabolical. That's why he's basically a comic book supervillain that works for the Pelicans, because you've seen Trajan Langdon. He left to Detroit. Bryson Graham is not going to get any slack if the Pelicans go south of 49 wins. It all falls on Willie Green. So this is what I'm saying, and people say, "Q, are you?" And like Lex just asked, "Say, Q, are you serious about the roster?" No, yes, I'm serious, because I've been saying this the whole time. Is that the pressure is on Willie Green? The signing of DeJounte Murray, the BI fiasco, that was outside of his hands. That was up to the octopus to get that deal done. BI didn't want to relent on his $50 million, so he has to make Zion, DeJounte, and all these guys work. He has to figure out his rotations, and then Borrego, who wanted to coach, looking at Detroit and Cleveland. Guess what happened to Borrego? He comes back to the Pelicans. So if Willie fails and can't get beyond where he needs to get this team where it needs to be, he's going to fall on the chopping block, and Borrego's going to pick it up. That's why I was saying that the stubbornness that Willie Green had, that he exhibited the first couple of years, when you're a desperate man and you face some pressure, all of that shit goes out the window, a great deal of it, all the stubbornness and all this kind of stuff. The Saints are going through it right now with Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen is trying to remake his image to be the cool guy. He's doing his accountability stuff, all the stuff we talked about for years. They starting to do that now because he under the gun. When you under the gun pressure, you under pressure. So a lot of the habits that you usually do, because you was being hard headed like Willie was, a lot of that shit got to go out the window. Because a lot of the guys that Willie was over relying on aren't here anymore. So that's why I was telling people he has no choice but to adapt or go. That's what it is. He has to coach up. he has to coach his best year. He got to coach up at the highest level that he's ever done it in these last 3 years that he's been a coach. He has to be the best that he can be. It's 4 years in. It's time for him to show and prove. That's why I said,
based off everything you said, BQ, I think Willie gonna get fired during the season.
okay, well, you saying
all that
brother.
pressure is gonna bust a pipe. Because it's either that or Willie Green is about to turn into the next Greg Popovich. Like, I mean,
or create a diamond, DC. That's what you're saying. You're saying that, or create pressure either burst pipes, or it creates diamonds. That's it's a 2-lane street right there. Either it's one or the other.
If the pressure was already on him, just looking at him from the DeJounte Murray, man.
Boy, look,
like a little bit of pressure.
No. Because listen, I'm just saying, man, it's what Lex. I hear what you're saying about you don't like Willie. You got a lot of faults. I understand. I really do, and I'm not. You're absolutely right on everything you're saying is factual.
I gotta see it though. I gotta see because like you said, it's been 3 years.
Yes. It's 4. You know basketball yourself. You know that if you're a professional in the NBA, if you're officiating in year 1, year 2, year 3, you're gonna be a different official in year 4. You are. You're gonna be more wise.
But best believe you will see improvement. It's gonna be a huge difference.
Yes, but he has shown improvement incrementally. You can't take the 49 wins away from him. They just wasn't
one step forward, 2 steps back.
Slight improvement in the rotations.
49 wins.
Major regression in our offensive game plan.
You know what? Because
49 wins.
I've heard people say this.
49
wins.
I'm
gonna make a point here, man.
49 wins.
I understand the
49
winning percentage for regular season has gone up a little bit.
DZ,
I understand that.
0 wins.
But let's be real about it. Let's get all the way funky with it. This team has been a borderline playing team. So even with 49 wins, they were barely a playing team. Okay? It's never been secured. Look, the goal was to get to the playoffs, and they literally did that. That was it. They got to it. The thing is that there's a problem. Like when you look at the season, and we saw this. What are some of the things we talked about on last season? We talked about how the Pelicans were playing all types of different styles. We talked about how they were having an identity crisis. What's their identity? They were playing different night after night. They would play one way for 2 games.
Right.
And then the next 2 games or 3 games, they would play a different way. Like they never mastered or solidified a style.
Because you couldn't, from schematically speaking, they had a morphing, inconsistent offense at times because you didn't have a predominant ball handler. If you got a general that's holding, that's operating, that's
still don't have that, Big Q.
I'm
Did
saying.
You hear him the presser?
No, I'm saying
you in CJ's hands.
No. That's just
I'm listening. I'm listening to what this man is saying, you guys.
Lex,
I'm listening.
She's right.
The DeJounte Murray's here.
He's saying this stuff. It's not me. I'm not making this stuff up. And I'm not trying to I'm listening to what this man is saying, and I can recall things that he says.
Yeah.
He just said this. It's like, well, we're going to put it in DeJounte's hands and Zion's hands and B.I.'s hands.
Yeah, because I was like, what the hell are you talking about when he said
just
that?
Saying that shit for the presser. He don't actually believe that. He was just.
So what are we talking about here?
Willie don't lie. You know he believed that shit. Q, what are
no, because that don't make any sense.
Willie is a lot of things, but he's not a liar, bro.
Willie ain't a stupid. Willie ain't a stupid.
But he is not. He's not a liar, Q.
Okay,
he actually believes that.
He said, now he ain't lying about it. I'm just saying he was just saying shit for the presser, like he said. He was saying the stuff. Now you knew damn well.
Don't be in CJ hands.
He is not. Look, you know what? Griff sounds way better than him because Griff, he's he believes and speaks with such conviction his BS. Like he does it so well, and it's not.
You just have run of the mouth disease. That's all.
Beautiful. It's disgustingly beautiful when he's talking, and it's really sounds like he knows what he's talking about, but he's saying a whole bunch of stuff about nothing.
He really is.
You know what I'm saying? But he puts it together like he's really saying something. Willie does not do that. He don't.
Willie ain't no BS artist. Willie ain't no BS artist. But that's my. I'm saying, listen, it's either one. It's only two ways it's going to go. And I've been saying the same thing. Is that Willie Green has to become the best version of himself in year number 4. He's been a head coach of a professional basketball team now for 4 years. 4 years. So the Pelicans have a lot riding on them. They bring in the DeJounte Murray here. They got all this other stuff going on with Brandon Ingram that he has to deal with the potential trade stuff looming over the top of the head of the team and everything. All that, all these new players, all these the free agent acquisitions, they're gonna have to figure out what they need to do to get this stuff working. And if he doesn't, guess what's gonna happen, Lex? Guess what's gonna happen? They'll get rid of him, and Borrego will be the new coach. And then you'll start to see a lot different philosophy because the offense will flow because that's the philosophy and the mindset of James Borrego, because his coaching style fits this team better than Willie does. That's the reality. So at the end of the day, I don't think David Griffin would have a problem burning Willie Green if he needs to get if the team. Oh, that's what it is. So you might get your wish if that's the case, but it's either coach or die. That's what need to make some damn shirts like that. Coach or die. That's what is coming up this year for Willie Green. It's a coach or die year for Willie Green.
I think we should move on.
Yeah.
We've been having this conversation for multiple shows, and we are still in the same position as when we started the conversation. BQ believes in Willie. I don't, but I wish him the best.
Doesn't even look like
Lex don't wish him the best. Lex don't believe in him at all.
DC, I just wish you would listen to what I said. It's not about me believing in anybody. I said that Willie Green has to coach. He has to coach or die. That's what it comes down to.
We know, Q, you want to love it away. You have a lot of joy and mindfulness and compassion for Willie. We get it.
And what percentage do we believe when someone is saying something? What percentage do we believe in what they're saying?
Depending on who's saying it, Lex. If Griffin is saying it, yes. If Griffin said
it, Griffin said, but Willie tells the truth. He said he gonna have the ball and everybody.
I mean, he's a man of faith, right? I mean, he loves.
He don't lie, Q.
Hey, does anybody in the chat right now believe when Willie said that he's gonna keep his money in his pocket? Do you think he believed that?
Hell yeah, he believes
the truth. Yeah.
He said that with conviction. He wasn't lying about that.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna have to get up off the court. I ain't getting none of my money out there.
No, but I'm just saying, look, as a coach, when you're dealing with hard fouls of one of your players, you mean to tell me when you are invested in your team, in your players, right? Okay, because I know as a coach, I am going to back the living snot out of my players. I don't care because I love the game that much. I'm passionate about the game that much.
I agree with you on that.
Of the safety of my players.
I agree with you.
If you care about your players. If you care about your players. So at what point in time so you're telling me that you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out as far as your investment in the team and the players on the team?
No, that ain't 1 foot in, 1 out. He's just telling y'all I got love for my players. I'm just not gonna lose no money over.
But that's not love though. Because you're not invested in the game.
Lex, I got one question to ask you.
In the church, they say,
I got one question.
Your love is your money follows. That's what they say in church.
All I'm saying is, I got a question for you.
Gotta put your money up with that love.
We're gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on to this topic on screen here. What love got to do with it?
Okay.
Everything.
Well, you got to say it right though. Come on, from the diaphragm. Oh wow. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna laugh.
Come on, Lex. Come on.
Oh, you got it.
Come on, Lex. Nah, you the singer. I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna embarrass myself.
You mentioned it. You were trying to make your point.
I wanted you to say it when I wanted to spark you, trigger you to say it. So you just say, come on, Lex.
You got this. You were trying to make
Oh,
your
no,
point.
I ain't gonna do it. I said I thought you was gonna sing with me. I ain't doing it then. No, I ain't.
What?
I ain't doing it. DC ain't gonna play his goddamn guitar if I ask him. So if I got to sing, I need backup.
Hey, I'm just saying, as a coach, man, like, because listen, even coaches that are not in the NBA go all in for their players, high school, and they going in. Okay, they're not thinking who's thinking about their money, instead of the
Willie
game
Green.
in the heat of the moment. A real coach. I said a real coach.
He told you the truth, though. You can't be mad at the man. He told you the truth. I'm not.
Okay, so we believe that. So that means we believe everything else, right? We're gonna put it in Zion's hands.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Listen, like I said before, y'all, a lot of people want Willie gone. Man, this is the year when you might get your wish. If the team underperforms, there's going to be a lot of pressure and fire on Willie Green.
I got another
his
question.
Replacement, you don't even have to go outside the building. The replacement is his top assistant. So I mean, this can change rapidly if he doesn't win. So that's why I was saying he's gonna make a few changes, but will it be enough? I hope. I just want to see my team win, man. Whatever the case may be. So we'll see. But go ahead, Lex. We got to move on to the next question. Go ahead, sweetie.
So do you all think that we'll get past a 4-game winning streak? Because y'all know all season once it hit 4. Once it hit 4, okay, we had to lose. You know what I'm saying?
So I wonder what happened in like the 4th or 5th game. Did we stop doing everything that worked?
Basically, we never had got past a 4-game winning streak. Just to let y'all know.
That was annoying too, man. That was real annoying.
It was annoying. It was something about that 5th game. Nope, it's time to lose.
Yeah, that's consistency right there. That's what it come down. Sticking with what works.
My C word. Oh, you better speak that.
Yeah, consistency has to change for the Pelicans to take it to the next level. That's the big part of the game. That's if you don't have that, man. Listen, like I said, this is his year. I don't know what that extension was that Octopus gave him secretly, but that won't mean a hill of beans if the Pelicans underperform. And Willie has to do his best coaching job. Like I said, the trade rumors circulating on the top of the team with Brandon Ingram, acclimating figuring out the center position, getting these guys and make sure they're on the same page. It's gonna be a very difficult year for Willie. When he was at that press conference, I'll give you that, Lex. He looked very uncomfortable. He was saying all type of shit that didn't make any sense. So he better figure it out, man. Willie Green, it's all on you, brother.
Like the pressure is already on.
It is on him. That's what I've been saying. The Octopus.
No, but I'm just saying that dude looked rough into that presser, man. Y'all go back and look at it.
He looked constipated. I said he looked constipated.
He was losing sleep, man.
Boy, that dude ate some of DC.
Did you see how many gray hairs that dude had?
You need to give some of your curry.
DC cooked something, had the man constipated, man. DC nasty shit. All right, so anyway, let's see one of these questions right.
Run right through him.
DC had to fix the man some weird shit. Had him constipated up at the press conference, man. Damn, shame on you, DC. All right, number one, is this
Willie heard we got DeJounte Murray, bro. That was enough. Yeah, he probably didn't eat. He told me, I gave him some whiff. That man ain't eat. That man ain't sleep.
Nah, he sure ain't sleep. He was like, you know how you wake up from drinking or something. He's like,
don't do Willie like that. You know, he just left out the church.
He's like, them eyes, like, dog, have you slept?
He just left out the church. You know, Willie just left out the church, man. He was at the church, man.
Hey, some people that go to church get a little sweet. Come on now.
Oh, no, that's not Willie. Willie is green as it gets. He as green as it gets. You know what I'm saying, Lex? Willie. All right, so here's the first question. We got 3 questions. Y'all in the chat, feel free to answer the questions in the chat. Number one, is this a win now team? Y'all put it in the chat. Please feel free to hit it. We're gonna start with you first, DC. Is this a win now team?
I would like an asterisk by that. If by win now we mean the regular season, I would say yes. If by win now we mean including the playoffs and all the meaningful games, I would say hell no.
Hell no. It's not a win now.
Hey, we could be regular season champs, dog. 50+ wins. We can do it all.
Hey, I got
we run
another
across the
question
right
real
team in the
quick.
playoffs, and it's curtains, man.
So you said it's a not a win 9 team. But let me get you because you kind of talking around. What you said is no.
Do I have to pull the asterisk back out and explain this again?
Bro, just without all the without the accent, bro. Just American.
This is definitely a win now team in the regular season.
This guy.
In the playoffs, without some adjustments, hell no.
All right. Okay. All right. Thanks, DC. All right, Lex. Lex, what you got? What you think? Is this a win now team?
Well, I want to answer with a question. Is the one position a win now position?
Which position is that? Do I need to ask?
One. I'm doing in numbers. You know the one. There's 5 players on the court. So the one. Okay. Is that a win now position?
That's a question for you.
Okay. Is the 2 position a win now?
Damn.
So we got to go through each position, all 5 position groups.
What number is the coach
Is
position?
the 3 a win now position? Just know, look, we know the 4. We know the 4 is there's and the 1.
They play together as one unit, Lex. They can play well together. This team could be very dangerous.
5 a win now position.
We got a mixed bag in the chat. Pelicans Nola says no. Jordan says yes. Stacy says, I have a question. Will the Pelicans finish top 10 in rebounds?
No.
That's a really good question.
That's an easy one right there, right?
You know what?
How about this? Does Zion Williamson get more than, what does he got? 5 rebounds?
Yes.
Does Zion
gets at least 8?
At least 8 rebounds?
Yeah.
He doubles his total?
Yeah.
The Pelicans lost the leading rebounder. They let that dude walk. So really, when you look at the whole situation, because of the small ball effect, it can't just be Zion. Yes, Zion does need to get more rebounds, but this is going to be a team effort. It's got to be. Everybody got to hit them boards.
Right.
I mean, so like more so than last season, because your best rebounder walked. So it's got to be collective.
So is this a win now team in your perspective?
Je ne sais pas.
I can't answer that. DC, speak some Jamaican, bro. Back
that
to
was my answer.
James Borrego.
That's not Jamaican.
You know what? That's a question mark. It's a question mark.
Horrible.
Because it's not only the roster, but it's also the coaching strategy. You know.
Oh no, please. Let's not go back to that.
Are we playing checkers or chess?
I'm saying because the question is this a win now team? Meaning,
I got a better one for you, Q. If we had one of them top 10 coaches, this would definitely be a win now team.
So it's all based.
Yes, I can get with that, DC.
All right, okay.
We have too much talent, man. I mean, if you are creative, visionary,
oh my gosh, say that again for the people
imaginative,
in the back. Say it again for the people in the back.
You can definitely make this work, man. I mean, you could possibly win a championship with this team.
Man,
but if we're just going to do the fundamental things or the normal things that everybody else does and play basketball the regular way, or, be, how the cookie cutter mold, they try to imitate this team or whatever in the NBA. If we're going to be that, then no, man. They have to, with this roster, create something that's truly either hasn't been done before or has been done before that nobody else could recreate because they didn't have the pieces. But it has to be something unique. That you can't just put this together and like, okay, we're gonna do this lineup and it's gonna be like that, and that's what, and then they just go out there and play. Oh, like Willie said at the press conference, oh, those guys will figure it out. It's just basketball. It takes some type of creativity, man, to make these pieces fit. And if you have a strategy that other teams aren't prepared for or can't fully adapt to, then I think this is a very dangerous team because they're extremely talented top to bottom. The only hole you would say they have is they're a little small, and we don't really know who the hell our center is. But everything else outside of that, you look at the Pels, man, they pretty much have an answer for everything outside of that thing.
Do other teams run fast?
Yeah. Some. Not all.
So do the Pelicans run faster because they're smaller?
Yes and no. Yes, they run faster. If Zion is 271 and he's faster and he's getting the rebound and he got the stamina to do that for large portions of the game, hell yeah, we run faster.
Well, throughout the season, he's not gonna be like 271, right?
I ain't never seen him. I ain't never seen him look that small. So I'm just saying it's
No, during the course of the season, guys always pick up weight. That's one thing that's true.
Yeah.
Guys come in ripped and things.
There ain't some guys that maybe lose weight during the season. I mean, some people might have the reverse effect. I would think,
I know in the playoffs they do, depending on if you're chasing around someone like Steph Curry or before him like a Ray Allen, because they run a lot.
Yeah,
for real, they do, and you got to chase them. I know D Wade, he talked about that. He lost 10 pounds in the series with Boston when Ray Allen was playing for them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Chasing around.
Yeah. That's wild. What about a guy like LeBron? Like who doesn't seem to gain or lose, just
he's a master at
that's different, brother. That's a whole nother level of preparation.
One thing that LeBron said,
that's what Zion said he's chasing. They say they're trying to follow that LeBron regimen.
Because LeBron found out early that you have to find it's not about jumping as far as with the weight, but it's finding a weight
that you're comfortable playing
and staying at playing there. Because if you're fluctuating up and down, that's what kills you. So the thing is that's why it's so hard, because Zion did not, with his unique body, because LeBron doesn't have a body like that. LeBron is 6'9", right?
6'9", 6'8", one of them.
Yeah. So he has that height. You know what I'm saying? That makes his weight distributed a whole lot better. That's not the same thing with Zion. It's not the same thing. But I think that's why it was so hard, because he said this on the podcast with JJ Redick before JJ Redick kind of threw shade at him. But on his Old Man and the Three, he actually said this, that, the trick is to find the weight. Mm-hmm. And I think all these years, that's what Zion is trying to been searching for, a weight that he's comfortable with, that does not rescind as far as his advantages, which is the power, really taking it to guys, moving guys out the way, and then at the same time not affecting his speed. So it's kind of tricky. I know everybody likes to make it seem like this is like something.
I don't think it's that tricky if you follow history. Like Zion, you can clearly look at Zion. We all see the comparison in Zion and Charles Barkley. Like you see certain elements of his game in Charles Barkley's that are similar. Similar in body type. They don't, but it's a good benchmark for like, okay, my weight should be around this area. Like all of us have thought, man, Zion probably should be around about 270, somewhere 260. Like it's not that hard to see. We've been saying that, some people go far as 250. I don't know what 250 would be like with him, but
And then you have to think where's the muscle gonna be at?
well, I
What I'm
mean,
saying?
when you lose, if he loses
Or body fat.
15 to 20 pounds of fat, that would be tremendous. But we would have to know, where is Zion starting with body fat right now? Like, because we looking at it, nobody sees the guy, pause with his shirt off and all that, but you don't really know how his weight breaks down. I'm pretty sure some of it is fat, obviously, when he has weight issues and gaining and all that. But Zion seems to be pretty muscular. So you would have to know how much of that is muscle and how much is fat to be able to gauge that. But if you're going that in depth and doing that, that makes it even that much easier to figure out. But the one thing, I guess, you can't figure out how you feel playing at that weight until you at that weight playing at it. But I think there's been multiple examples in front of him, if he looks at basketball or football, of people with a body type that can be somewhat similar.
I wouldn't look at football. That's a totally anytime you crossing over into sports, it's not the same thing. It ain't the same thing.
For even for like weight, if it's I guess somebody that does a lot of running, like if you're looking at maybe a running back, what positions matter, or a
I mean,
linebacker.
the movements, the things that you're doing are different. Man, hey, let me tell you something. I played flag football once. I know it's flag football, but boy, I felt pain in places I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying?
You
After
totally different muscle
compared
group,
to
huh?
basketball, like it's like your movements and the muscles that you're using are different.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. And you can even look at Mike when he went to baseball. Michael Jordan. I'm sorry, I just said
Yeah,
Mike, but yeah, but when he went to baseball, like he had to start doing. He was doing different things with baseball than he was with basketball.
mm-hmm.
Totally different movements. Like he had to strengthen muscle groups that, in baseball, he didn't need them because, you use those things for basketball. Like it's really different when you start breaking things down, when you start really focusing on the details. And I'm just going by what, other guys say. I mean, that's why you don't see a lot of guys crossing sports. The few that we have seen, Deion Sanders and what's that one dude's name? Um, he,
Bo
he
Jackson.
was yeah, him. Thank you. Yeah, you don't see a lot of those guys crossing. We just named 3.
No, I get you. I'm just talking purely about body types, keeping the weight under control and feeling comfortable at that weight. It's there's different muscle groups crossing over. I'm just saying, like somebody with a similar body type and a good weight that they may play at. I don't think from football to basketball that weight, just the weight, would matter the same, unless you're talking about like certain positions, like defensive line, offensive line. Obviously, they
Yeah,
like to
I
have a
mean,
lot more weight on them than they may need just to for that pounding to take that. But I'm just talking about history and people that's come before him. There's examples out there. I don't think it's this hard where it had to take this long. But if you're doing it yourself without outside help, or without looking at all of those underlying factors or the history you had before you, or taking advice of players before you for whatever reason, he might be justified in not listening to some of them, because some of the guys might be hating on him and he might not really like him. We don't know why he didn't listen to none of them, because Big Q would talk all the time about Karl Malone. Like, Karl Malone reached out to Zion, wanted to go work out with him, get him in shape, and that whole thing. But he has a lot of examples of people that had to go through what he had to go through, And I'm just glad he's starting to figure it out right now. 270,
And then it
260
does
to me sounds like the perfect range for him to where he still can have his power and have that weight to take somewhat of a pounding, but also take a lot of that pressure off of his legs because all Zion's injuries are below the waist. All of them.
Well,
Mhm.
he had a finger injury.
Yeah, but he was still playing with that. He was playing with that finger injury, and they shut him down at the end of the season because they felt like we couldn't make the playoffs. We almost would have had to have a perfect run to make the playoffs, which I think they could have did it. I don't think the Pels wanted them to make the playoffs, like we were talking about earlier, with not putting that much pressure on Zion and Griff not having that much pressure on himself, and everything that happened with Stan Van Gundy. They wanted to fire Stan Van Gundy, and if he made it to the playoffs, how you do
You
that?
couldn't. Right. We talked all about that.
They punted on the season on purpose.
Yeah.
They could have made
Yeah.
the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball was probably pissed about that, and that was part of the reason why he wanted to
He
get the hell
left.
up out of here.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
we talked about all this when it was going on real time because
Yeah.
it was stupid and it didn't make any sense until we saw Stan Van Gundy get fired, and it was like,
Yep.
oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The
And
point.
now we see why they did that.
That's how
he got
comfortable.
him fired.
That's how comfortable
Brandon
that he was down here, Griffin, to do that. Because most people would want you to go ahead on and go ahead and make that push that and get that done.
But also though,
It's his call. That head coach was his call anyways.
also another thing, though, Q, they also had a strategy because Trey Murphy, who we got in the next draft, do you know the Pelicans had people talking to Trey Murphy way at that time? Like you went back and you look at
I remember
I
hearing
think
that.
it was, remember we covered the interview from Trey Murphy's trainer or something. They
Mm-hmm.
were talking and they were in conversations with him early in the
Yeah.
season that year. So they
Yeah.
fell back probably also to make sure they could secure him in that pick.
Yeah. Yeah. It was multi-pronged.
Mhm.
Yeah. They had a lot of sneakiness. That
So
old
you
octopus
mad
style.
at him about that, but like if we did make the playoffs that year, we wouldn't have Trey Murphy.
Yeah. It probably ended up with
Maybe we
somebody
would have
else.
still got Herb Jones, maybe,
Right.
because I'm
And
sure they were watching him too. But Herb and Jose, but we might have not got Trey.
yeah, you end up with somebody else that was been pretty popular and popping for us. But at the end of the day, man, that's just how that old octopus. That's a diabolical octopus we got up there. All right, so let's go to this is the final question before we get on up out of here. It's getting late. DC Lex, last question. Is the Pels below, even, or over teams like OKC, T-Wolves, and Magic? This is the last question right here. We did have some people in the chat. Stacy made a good comment and said that the OKC, T-Wolves, Magic are three complete teams. All three teams are stacked, every category. The Pelicans get a center. They can be in that conversation. Thank you, Stacy. Shout out to you. All right, so start with you, DC. What do you say you?
First off, Stacey, we was not tanking for Trey Murphy. The Pels were going lower because they wanted to fire Stan Van Gundy. He was a consolation prize. Two prong. All right. But I say T Wolves and the Magic, man, rightfully so. It's like I feel like we're better than the T Wolves as far as facing them because we seem to have the recipe to be able to beat the T Wolves. But based off of what they did last year and what OKC did, I can't say we're better than either one of them right now. Now the Magic, it's the reverse. Facing the Magic, it is extremely hard for us to beat them in a matchup. They seem to have our number. But I also think that we're a better team than the Magic and we'll have a better record than the Magic. But T Wolves and OKC, the optimist in me wants to say yes, but being logical and factual, I have to say no. So I will put them below OKC and the T Wolves and ahead of the Magic.
All right, Lex, what you think?
All three of these teams were in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
not through the play-in, right?
Right. Magic in the East though, it's a little easier over the lower teams in the East.
I mean, they still got it done though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I would just feeding off of what Stacy said. I mean, these teams are complete. Not just from just the talent that they have, but the fitting of that talent, the cohesion of that talent, the edge that they all have. Their identity is very, very clear. The coaching is very solid with all of them. They just like everything with these teams, like they know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't feel like the Pelicans, they don't they're still like DC said, question marks. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of areas that it shouldn't be a question mark. But obviously, all of them had that dude that is like, okay, hey, Shea is the guy on this team. Ant's the guy on this team. Paolo Banchero is the guy on this team. But, I think, now we're saying that Zion, he's going to do his thing. He's the guy on this team. But are they playing that way? You know what I'm saying? Because it's been up and down like, okay, hey, Zion, you take a back seat. And that has not, I don't think that's ever happened, with the other guys. So,
you don't think that was put to bed? To me, and after the All-Star break, Zion taking a back seat was put to bed. Zion stopped taking a back seat, and we started playing a lot better. And he started just saying, "The hell."
Well, I'm saying within a season, though, it was like the tale of two halves.
I don't think we're gonna have that conversation this year, especially with having a point guard. The point guard effect may be just as big as the physical therapist effect.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, Brandon still got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? For real, right? Yeah. I mean, he's trying to get his money, right? Yeah. I mean, it's the same situation because he was up for extension. That's why they put the ball in his hands. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, well, and then the Pelicans are saying that they want to keep Brandon. Brandon wants to be with the Pelicans.
Who's saying that?
Huh? I mean,
Octopus said that.
I'm just saying.
They didn't want to trade him. He been saying that.
Can't believe nothing he said. We know that.
Right.
And, I mean, everybody in the front office.
Exactly. What is he supposed to say? Is he supposed to say, "Oh, we want to get rid of Brandon"?
Don't nobody else want him. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying he has to say that though.
Right. Yeah, that's the part of the BS political stuff he got going on. He got to say.
Hey, Anthony Davis. I'm trying to get out of here. Okay. Yeah, some guys, man, F it, man. I don't want to be here.
But I don't think Brandon Ingram wants to leave. You think Brandon Ingram really wants to leave? Or if he just wants his money and still be here?
I think he wants his money. He wants the Pelicans to give him $50 million, and they said no.
And he want to be here. He don't want to leave.
Right. So I mean,
everybody just, I don't know, man.
He ain't getting that money from the Pelicans. He got to drop.
Crazy.
Ain't getting that
because ain't nobody else trying to give him that money either.
Right. So that's what I've been saying.
Yeah, your stock is where that's why they told him, yeah, you and your team can go and shop around.
Right.
You heard crickets.
Right. So I mean, at some point, he's gonna hold to it, and then try to see if he can get in free agency. And at some point during the season, like I told DC, I said somebody's gonna reach out at the right time. They're gonna reach out to the Pelicans and try to put a package together to get Brandon Ingram on that expiring deal, and that's what's gonna happen. That's how if depending on what they get back for him, that's how it plays. Because it's a tainted situation, man. Because nobody It's just a messed up situation. The Pelicans have to play it through, and it is what it is. So he got to make it. Green has to make it work. He got to make it work. Zion, Bi, DeJounte, CJ, Herb, Trey, all these guys, Jose, Jordan, all these guys, man. You got to make it work some kind of way. You got to figure a way, or here come the administration of James Borrego, who will make it work. You won't see some shit happen then. It's going to be a whole different effect with Borrego running that offense. Have all these stellar offensive pieces around, man.
And then just look at everything we got here, man, and look at everybody's age. You know, the Pelicans are right there. We're right in the midst of being able to have something special. You have a lot of talented guys here.
A lot of talent, man.
That are young. You know, so it's like we're maybe 2 players away from being everything we want to be.
You might get them with the BI trade, DC, somewhere in the year.
I mean, I think we're gonna get one this year, and then probably we'll get another player next year. We're gonna need another guy that can break people down off the dribble, especially once we move on from CJ. So we need that, and then obviously we need our center, right? The player down off the dribble could be a point guard, a backup point guard. You get somebody to fill that role, or just a lethal scorer like a Jordan Clarkson type guy off the bench. But that's really, I mean, what other holes do the Pels have for what they want to do? We're a 3-and-D center, if that exists, that unicorn exists, away from serious championship contention. Because you get somebody who play amazing defense and be able to knock a 3-ball down out there in the starting lineup with Zion, and then you working in Mises or whatever.
At some point,
you get some minutes, man. That's dangerous, bro.
You gotta get them in there, man.
That's dangerous. Yeah. We're a front court away.
You might get it this year based on whatever they do with Brandon Ingram, man. Before the trade deadline of February the 6th. Yeah. It's a lot of questions. Like you're right, Lex. It's a lot of questions around the team. It's basically, remember that old term we always come up with here?
Everybody gonna be talking about it. That's gonna be like a huge talk, because it's like, you know, all these experts, they already understand the situation. They get it. I mean, it's literally, this whole situation is like being in between a rock and a hard place,
right?
Because it's kind of stuck, and really, it really is deja vu with JV. JV and the Pelicans did not reach an extension. What happened? They went into the season, got to the trade deadline. They didn't do anything. And then what happened?
You got a 2nd round pick for him.
No, they didn't get nothing. No. That ain't nothing.
A 2nd round pick protected.
That was a delayed reaction.
Paperwork, DC. Lex, paperwork said the Pelicans
that was a delay. No, it was delayed. I'm looking at the timing. Man, weeks went by.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They weren't gonna get nothing for him. They were just letting him walk. A walking double. Just let him walk.
Really couldn't use him.
But you can't see Brandon Ingram in the same light as that.
Yeah. Come on.
So you think they're gonna let Brandon Ingram walk for nothing?
They just eat the money. They get the money fall back. Look, they get that. They get the
Brandon a walking double.
What is it? 36? Yeah, 36.
But I mean, like JV was getting DMPs, and Willie had games where he was playing them 10 minutes a game. Like, it's a different.
I mean,
it's a different.
She's saying the play. She's saying how the situation ends the same way in terms.
No, I don't think under any circumstances Brandon Ingram walks for nothing. But I think that the worst possible circumstance could be, because I know they won't let him walk for nothing, that they mess around and re-sign him. But I don't.
For what? Because the thing
is, sign it for nothing less than 50.
I don't want him here.
The whole situation with Brandon.
Talking about he ain't gonna
I'm just
sign.
saying,
honest,
I don't
look.
see him letting them walk for nothing because
So what they gonna sign him for?
we
Yeah, so
both
what?
know
Look,
we both know they could have traded Brandon Ingram for something already.
they could
They've
have
already had suitors out
because
there,
they
and they
really
passed on that. They're not gonna pass on all of that to not trade him for nothing. At some point, David Griffin is gonna have to take his medicine, or he's gonna do the unthinkable, which we don't want him to do, and probably re-sign Brandon Ingram just so he don't lose him for nothing.
They're not gonna sign him for $50 million.
they can't because then you still have the situation.
Who gonna
with
pay him
Trey
$50
Murphy.
million?
That's not the point.
No.
The point is
Wait.
Pelicans ain't finna do
That is the point because you
That's
said
not the point.
they're not gonna sign him.
Do you
for
know a
$50
team would
million.
rather let
So
a
you
player
pivot to
walk
who
for
will
nothing
sign him?
I don't think
than
any team's gonna sign him next
All
year
right, then. What
for
you talking
$50 million. So his going price will not be $50 million.
You don't know what team gonna sign him for $50 million next year.
What team gonna sign him for $50
You
million?
don't know. That's not to be determined yet. See, we got the
I'm sure
season.
somebody will put a contract out there for him, but I
All
don't
right
think
then.
anybody gonna sign him for $50
All
million
right. It
a
might not
year
be 50. It
next
might be
year.
close to it, but it won't be us. Let them
40.
handle.
I can see somebody throwing 40
the
at him, not
Pelicans
50.
messed up with JV, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's
And I
funny
don't want that to happen, Q.
and it's
I
funny
think
because
that's
the talk now, for
hear
so
you.
long we didn't have a point guard. You know what I'm saying? We got a point guard and lost a starting center.
Well, you know that old thing about making additions by subtractions, the election and stuff.
Huh?
we
No,
had a starting center
because
that we didn't play.
everybody's talking about that,
But he wasn't using him.
yeah, I
He
know.
was
That's
benching the
why
man
you
he
get
had.
rid of the dude. You get rid of the dude.
You can't get rid of the
He doesn't
coach.
know his personnel.
He
He doesn't
didn't
know how
want
to
it.
use his own players.
I don't think he
was-
ever wanted Valanciunas. That's the whole point of this. Like, it's a
Doesn't
lot.
matter.
Damn, so even when we traded for him, Willie
I don't
was against
because
that?
you got who you had Steven Adams, right? Who couldn't stay healthy. Then you went from Steven Adams to Valanciunas.
Steven Adams would have been pretty good under Willie.
Steven Adams was hurt and broke down when we got him from OKC.
No.
Yeah.
He was broke down, bro. Now he did better with Memphis.
We could have got probably a good year out of him.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I ain't making excuses for old Willie, but the thing is, he never really, the dude never fit with the system that Willie Green. Willie Green likes to run, and Valanciunas is as hard as he tried. He didn't fit the man system. That's why he would DNP him at the end of these games. He tried to
look at V trying to get up and down. That
tried to run. All 110% every damn game he would be running. He played all of the games.
Imagination. And you know what's crazy?
Played all of the games. Played all of the games.
He was Iron Man. The dude was available. He was the most available player that the Pelicans had. Not only that, the beautiful thing about JV is that you could actually play through him. You can't say that about anybody else. Other than what you saying, DC?
Well, I'm saying other than Jokic, man, they ain't in Embiid. Like how many back to the basket center, and they not really even back to the basket.
But it was working.
Face up. But I understand that. But
it was working. I'm not saying that it was something that's consistent.
No. I'm looking at the way the league is going and what Willie's probably trying to do, and a lot of other teams are trying to do. Like they really gotten away from back to the basket players. A smart coach would have took what JV could do and did what we saw Memphis do, which is why you heard me sit up here and scream from the mountaintops that JV's minutes should be utilized.
Screaming from the island.
Should be utilized.
The mountain on the island.
Heavily with the second unit, where you could just let him go to work and play through him, like Lex is saying, but
he didn't
have the imagination to do that. And he doesn't fit the switch on. He don't fit the switch on, Lex.
He didn't believe in Valanciunas like that, even though we seen.
And that's why he didn't fit. There's for instance, we talk about how Brandon doesn't fit. He doesn't fit like what the Pelicans are doing. But Jonas, first of all,
that he could though.
You
for
can't,
whatever reason,
you,
he just
you can't teach
to.
height.
Because he ain't gonna yield to Zion. Come on, man.
And the thing is,
just tell it straight.
The dude was getting rebounds. He was the leading rebounder on the team. The team needed that. That was huge. Rebounds mean possessions. Possessions mean more opportunities.
2 words, Lex. 2 words. Larry Nance.
He wasn't getting rebounds like that.
Larry Nance averaged like 7 rebounds.
Still in all, Willie would instead of getting that 9-10, he would prefer.
Man, you know what? You know what
7,
though,
8.
man. Willie
Switch
was
off.
trying to kill Larry
Switch
Nance.
off.
Man, that dude came straight off
That's
an
why he got
injury.
That's why he got Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Lex. That's why he went and got Jeremiah Robinson Earl, so he didn't have to kill him. He can let Jeremiah get up in there and try to make some plays. But see, that's the whole point. Is like he didn't. Valanciunas never fit Willie's offense. Neither did never. These are players, and that's why I was asking the question about when you got these guys here. Was it why he's not playing them? Not because Val's not talented, because he don't fit what he wants to do. The guy wants to run. So I often thought to myself, why the hell did Griffin, or Trajan, why didn't they go to Willie and say, hey, bro, what guys fits what you want to do, and we'll see if we could try to get these guys to help you out. But far too often, but I'm saying far too. But see, it's communication issues that start from the top on down. Because the reality is, Willie Green shouldn't be here as a head coach. To be honest with you, this all David Griffin screw ups.
What?
He shouldn't be here. Follow the logic.
You came to your senses over the
no. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. The logic, and I've been saying this for years, is that the only reason why you got Willie Green, who started here as an inexperienced coach, when you needed an experienced younger coach with a resume that could take this team where it needed to go. That was not Willie Green. The only reason why you ended up with Willie Green is because of the screw ups with Stan Van Gundy and Elvin Gentry.
Yeah,
old people. You still owe Gentry money, and then you fired Van Gundy after 1 year. You owed him money, so they had to go cheap, so cheap that they couldn't afford to fire all of the assistant coaches that was attached to Stan Van Gundy. Willie Green had to take the job with that man's, most of them, assistant coaches. That's how that's how it went.
He was willing to do that.
He was the only one willing to do it. Jacques Vaughn didn't. He told him no.
Yeah.
They wanted Jacques Vaughn. Jacques Vaughn told him no because he wasn't going to. Mm-hmm. And they also interviewed your boy from Orlando. They had him we
interviewed Charles Lee.
He is
Charles Lee.
Jacques Vaughn is your boy from Orlando, Q. That's Jacques Vaughn.
No. We talking about the brother that's from Orlando, that's coaching Orlando right now. You what's his name? Jamal Mosley.
Jamal Mosley.
Mosley. Oh yeah, I'm my bad.
Mosley. Yeah, Mosley. They interviewed Mosley. They interviewed. They interviewed.
I was about to say Holiday.
No, Doc turned him down to go to Philly.
Yeah, they wanted Doc. They wanted Doc and Ty Lue. That was the one that Miss Benson was willing to open that purse for. And then when they couldn't get that, they probably, I guess, couldn't sell on more money for a no-name guy.
Now I don't think it was that DC. She didn't know the difference. You could have told her it was Santa Claus. She wouldn't know the damn difference.
So why was your boy pinching pennies like that then?
Because it's Griff. He's cheap. He's cheap and he screwed up.
But he was gonna pay. He was gonna pay Doc Rivers and Ty Lue. They
just
listen. With any coach,
he couldn't match
on their shoulders. Hint, hint.
He couldn't match.
Any coach that has a good head on their shoulders, man, they weren't taking that deal.
Yeah.
When you looked at the whole situation, because there was probably a lot more stipulations.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was a whole lot more stipulations. And so when you consider that, it's like all them other guys, they had a good head on their shoulders. Look, I say this all the time. The situation that you come into matters. The situation that you come into matters. Because whatever situation you're coming into, like that's how you're viewed. That's how you're seen. That's how you're going to be treated. Look what Griff is doing with Willie. This was a big, huge setup.
Yeah.
Like you said, Big Q, there's pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he already looks it.
Yep.
And all jokes aside, he already looks it.
I know.
He was cheap and you're expendable.
Yep.
because Willie, I mean, if you think about it, I don't even think they wanted to make a splash move as far as getting DeJounte. Did you all hear what Griff said in the presser? He stated that Rich Paul called him and he was telling him about, trading for DeJounte. He gave credit to Rich Paul for that. That wasn't even Griff. Think about this. He said this. Go back and listen to it. It wasn't even his idea.
Well, that's not new. The Antonio, the Anthony Davis trade wasn't his idea. I mean, that was Magic Johnson's trade minus what was it? Kyle Kuzma, not Kuzma. Kuzma. So I mean, it was. So I mean, that was the deal that when they was trying to do it the first time around with the Pelicans and Dale Demps and Magic Johnson, who blasted the F out of Dale Demps for poisoning that whole situation, because Dale Demps, he said it, got on First Take and told the world Dale Demps leaked the details of the trade that destroyed his team. Dale Demps has always been a piece of filth. But at the end of the day, this is the kind of people the Pelicans let run their team. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. The problem, long history of Pelicans, a terrible leadership at the top and people with no vision. They just money people.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's the
direction.
But that's why I'm saying the long game. I'm good at the long game. I'm good at seeing things down the line because I'm a history guy. If you see enough of the history, you can build a path to see what they're doing. It's none he's doing is showing what Griffin is attempting to do is something I haven't seen or talked about. I've said that. It was two guys on his hit list that he was using for cover. Once he got rid of Van Gundy and he had Trajan Langdon. Langdon seen it and left. He was trying to get out of here. Langdon got out of here. Third time's the charm. He was able to get the Detroit job because he understood, as a smart man, you understand that, number one, as a general manager of the Pelicans, you're never going to get the credit for doing the right moves. It's always going to be this other guy because he can never shut the F up. And he's always out front in talking more than you. So in order for you to get credit, you have to be out front of him and talking more than him. He never going to shut up because he's an attention whore. Just like Mickey Loomis and all these other clowns who can barely do their job, but they love the goddamn camera. So you have that guy operating, and I've been saying this for years about that guy because he easy to figure out. The next guy that's on the target list is going to be Willie Green. So if anything fails with the Pelicans, guess what? You're going to shoot your shot at Willie Green. That's why I'd be cautious to back up off him and give Willie Green credit. Not so much because I like Willie, but not just because I'm blinded like DC likes to try to allude and say you kind of blinded. No, I see the long game. I move Willie out of the way because I'm keeping my target on the dude that's actually controlling the play.
I said you love him. I didn't say you was blind.
Okay, whatever. DC, keep eating or go back to sleep and whatever you're doing because that's what the hell you sound like right now. So at the end of the day, listen, I'm telling y'all the God's honest truth. That's what's going to happen. Trajan left. He did go to Detroit. This other dude over here is the coach in his fourth season. If they go south of 49 wins, a lot of the pressure is going to fall on Willie Green. And look how Willie Green's looking in the press. We said he looked constipated. He gave him this roster with all of this stuff on him. You got trade rumors. That's the worst thing you can do to your head coach is to bring in a player. Trade rumors that serves to be an issue with building the synergy and the chemistry. Then he's feeding the media with propaganda, two-way propaganda, saying that we want to keep him, even though you can't afford him. So you create an uncertainty, and you got a player here that ultimately you're going to have to get rid of. That's one of the worst things you could do to your team. And Willie has to coach under this pressure now.
Willie possibly feels partially responsible too with the whole Brandon Ingram thing because they had to blow up in the locker room.
Could you refer me to the video when he said that?
The one with DeJounte Murray where he was looking stressed out, like he ain't slept in a week.
Go ahead, man. Listen, man, we
just talked about the trade that they had and the pressure he's under. You don't think Brandon Ingram possibly being, shipped on out of here that Willie feels responsible for that? He went around as Lex would clown him every time he said this, saying that Brandon Ingram and Zion were the #1 duo in the NBA.
Oh,
And
you
then you bench him, you know, in the Lakers game coming back from
Well,
injury. Like I think some of that.
you know
You're
what?
right about the Griff thing, bro. And I understand you want to take the heat off of him, but Willie almost the same as DA, but not in the weird
Was premature.
kind of way that DA
It really
does.
is. That just goes to personality.
The
Personality type.
personalities are different, but it's like they can't get out of their own way. When people start to like them or try to give them, they do something to get the attention on them.
Except for Willie is more religious. DA is more.
He's way more likable.
He's a backstabber.
Ooh.
So, but Willie's religious. He's a good dude. Dennis Allen is not, obviously not religious the way he behaves, the way he be floating on clouds and shit. But I mean, but the thing is, the way I see it is this. It's on Willie Green. People ain't looking at the octopus and saying it's except for y'all, the smart. I ain't gonna say that, like, because everybody else, you're certain you got the glasses on. You see what it's hitting for. You know who the target is. The guy that's setting up the play is Griffin. The guy that's making the trades for players that sometimes they don't fit what the man want is Griffin. Willie Green comes here. He did have restrictions, Lex. You hit on it. Not only was he restricted in his, he filled out his staff now after being here so long because some of those guys are gone, and he got the guys that he picked are here. But in the end, a lot of the pressure is going to fall on him. So what happens if he fails? They just simply knock him off and move Borrego in. He don't even have to go outside the building to find a coach. Borrego had several opportunities to find jobs and decided to come back here. Now that's what I'm saying. If Borrego waits long enough and Willie falls apart, and it does look like Willie's going to have some issues he has to figure this stuff out fast. That's why I was saying
late at night too.
That's what he's staying up at night. Hell yeah, he is, because he got to get some answers. He got all this stuff that he was doing last year that ain't gonna play, because you done set a high bar for yourself. 49 wins. You can't go south of 49 wins. You gotta do better than that. You gotta push toward the playoffs. That's all on him.
If Willie can do it again, would he sign James Borrego to his coaching staff?
Yes. I don't think Willie sees James Borrego as a threat to his coaching job. I don't think he thinks like that. I think he thinks James Borrego, and I think Borrego is here.
How can you not see that when this dude was traveling around the country for a head coaching position? Cleveland, Detroit, LA.
Yeah, but I know he has. I mean,
Willie Green is greener than I thought.
He is green. Willie Green he knows the man has coaching aspirations, but Willie Green obviously don't feel like, well, they just gave him an extension. How would you feel?
You know what? From the way he looks, it might be wearing on. That might be one of the things wearing on his mind.
Didn't they just give him an extension? They reported a secret extension of multi-years. We don't know how many. It was
we don't know the stipulations of that contract, though.
I get you, but it still was reported as an extension. That one day
it could be two.
It could be two. So if that's the case, then why would he not feel like he has some leverage to be able to do some of this stuff? That's what the octopus is telling him, and he believes the octopus. He likes the octopus. The octopus the only one gave him a coaching job in his whole career.
But the 2 years would have started last year, so this mean after this year is over.
Well, this starts year, right? This starts it.
No, it would have started last year, right?
No. Last year when they issued it, it'll start this year into next year.
They gave him an extension last year, right?
Last year. So it will start this year into next year, right? And this year and next year. All right, DC.
I don't remember what his original contract. What was his original contract? His original contract was 2 years or 3 years.
Pull it up, DC. Pull your computer up, brother. Go ahead and look it up, man.
Did Josh Hart really say that? And when did he say that, if he did?
That he was excited about being traded to New Orleans. Yeah, I can believe it.
He said he didn't want to be there, and Trey Murphy, he was on a show. They all did a podcast together, and he talked about how he had Trey go buy him alcohol all the time, and Trey used to give him the change back. He'd give him like $500 or something, and the whole thing they went into talking about that. But he said when he was traded here, he didn't want to be here. He was depressed. He was severely depressed, and he didn't want to be here. But he was like, as time went on,
He
kind
loved
of
it.
grew to like it.
Yeah.
But initially, no, he was angry that he got traded here. So yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, but then after that, man, and that just goes to show you the love affair with the city of New Orleans and the culture. Because remember when he got traded to whatchamacallit, and then they had to get. I think he was officially called for the trade, but he was in the arena watching the Pelicans play, meeting the players and all that. He was in the game, so that's what the culture does to you. Like a lot of people, football, basketball players understand it's real out here, man. The food, the culture, the love, and the people love you, man. You know, then you good. And if the people don't like it, then you're in trouble.
Right. Him and NAW, they both, man, they got traded. I ain't never seen that before. They got traded, and they showed up with
Showed up at the game.
players' jerseys on.
Yep.
The team that they got traded away from at the game the day they got traded.
The day they got traded.
I've never seen that before. So.
Never seen that.
Yeah, he said that, but I'm giving him a pass.
Yeah,
but
they clearly wanted to be.
They don't talk. But they don't talk about that though.
I bet you they ain't gonna be feeling that way about.
Talk about it. How, Lex?
Say no. I'm saying like we've never seen that before, right?
Yeah, but I've never seen
it's
that
not.
before.
It's not talked about.
No,
it's not talked about.
We weren't winning. If we were winning, then they would have talked about it.
No, they wouldn't have talked about it even if we was winning.
Yeah,
you think so?
I don't know about that.
No, not the Pelicans, dude. They don't talk about the Pelicans unless it's something negative about Zion.
Who do we listen to at the beginning of this stream?
Stephen A.
What was he talking about?
that's the
I don't know what the hell he was talking about, to tell you the truth. It was bullshit. I kind of tuned him out.
Been doing this show for years, man. What I realize about the national media is they will lie their asses off, because I've literally exposed them dozens of times lying about trades with the Pelicans. Stephen A. Smith's another dude that I've caught in several lies, just saying shit, no proof, no evidence, nothing.
Sources.
At one time he had sources, but since he done got where he got, there's no sources to none of that shit. A lot of that stuff he just making it up, man. It's unfounded.
Sources tell me Zion will eat.
He ain't citing no sources. They ain't doing that no more. Like some of these media people, not all of them.
Man, I remember
some of these dudes at the ESPN level. These fucking dudes don't. They just do stuff for views and clicks. That's what they do it for. That's
how we're on Undisputed, man. Like Skip was like, I heard he was at 300. And Shannon was like, I heard he was at 340. I'm like, that is too much of a huge difference. Somebody's sources are lying.
Man, y'all crazy.
That's crazy. That's what they do.
Nobody can play 340 and get off the ground like Zion.
Both of them said that they sources said that.
I think he probably done got close to 300 before, definitely.
Ain't got no sources.
340,
but that's not the point. Look, do you know that's a 30-pound difference? I mean, it's like somebody's sources are incredibly wrong.
They're lying, man. It's lying ass source. That's what it is. It's just liars, man. And you remember what Malcolm said about it. I'll never forget that, saying about Malcolm, what he said about it. That's why I be telling people to this day, man. That's why it's real independent press out here. Y'all need to get behind them, man. Because a lot of these people, they just be lying on it, man. They be lying. Like, remember the trade, all that stuff about Scoot Henderson and Zion Williamson, all that shit, that big fat ass Wendy got up there and was talking all that stuff, lying. And I was telling him, man, this dude lying, man.
Damn, Sharania started that jump.
I'm saying this dude here
lying. Upset that he did that. I'm like, dang, Shams. For real?
Yeah, he was, because he was getting views on national television. He was popping up on McAfee. He was packing up on all this other stuff, saying all this old nonsense.
Everybody been using Zion, man. That's why he be cutting off social media.
The real insiders wasn't saying anything. The real insiders wasn't saying anything. That's how you know You didn't hear Adrian Wojnarowski say a damn thing about none of that. He was quiet. And a lot of them, even when they pressed Wendy one time, he was like, I have to say such and such, because he was kind of nervous of saying it, because a lot of them was jumping in there just to get to say something, because they would bring them up on television. They'll get screen time for talking this. And I'm like, man, y'all don't have nothing. That's a lie. Ain't nobody trading no Zion for no fucking Scoot Henderson. I was saying that the whole time. All these people believe in it. They believe whatever they say. I was telling them that's a lie, man. That don't even make any sense.
None.
But then in the end, what happened? Nothing happens, because
people was going for that shit, talking about we should do it. We should do it. Ask them if they would trade Zion for Scoot Henderson today.
Well, the thing is, it was coming right off of that other mess, and it's like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It really did.
But it don't have to make sense
this season, last season. It's like, and y'all wanted Scoot for him.
Yeah, we're gonna trade Zion for Scoot. I'm like, are y'all kidding? Who are these people? What's wrong with y'all, man? Stop it. Is the media at whatever they shooting through the screen at you that fucking powerful where you can't? It's stopping you from using common sense. That didn't make any sense. And then after it happened, then they come to
made sense to
none of that made no sense. We were saying that's a lie, man.
He needs to go to the Knicks.
Every time that dude opened his mouth, somebody sticking a foot in it. Everybody is always something. That dude get checked left and right because he constantly off code, constantly saying stupid off code shit. It's only a matter of time, man, before people get tired of that, man.
It's
people
sad that he turned him out so bad, man.
Nah, he burnt out, and he sold out. He sold it out. He didn't have no.
He didn't used to be like this the whole time.
He sold it out, Lex.
But the thing is, when I think he was holding out for more money, and ESPN kind of put him in his place, and when he came back, because Skip brought him back. Remember that? He was on a layoff for a while.
Yeah.
You know,
Skip,
they had to kind of neuter him, to put him in his place, and he fell in line.
Yeah,
that's why ESPN turned him out.
Yeah, you had they had Woody, whatever his name is. It was called Cold Pizza. Then it went from Cold Pizza when he was debate with Woody, who used to be on the little show with Rinaldi. They used to do the little. I think that's still on television, right? It comes on right before Pardon Your Interruption or whatever. Is that what it's called? Yeah, with Kornheiser and them. But yeah, he was. Yeah. He used to. Woody was the guy. It was an old white guy. He used to debate with Cold Pizza. And then Woody left, and then that's when they put Stephen A. Smith on there with Skip, and then they did that for a while. Then he
Skip spoke on his behalf.
Mm-hmm. He talked him up there, but he really
helped him out. Without Skip, Stephen A. He was hitting it bad for a minute, man, like his career. But he saved him.
He was a pretty decent beat reporter because he worked for Philly and he did some stuff for New York. So he had some leverage. He had some inside game. He had some inside information. Like he had some, and he wasn't bad. But when he got there, a lot of them connections he had that you could see they went away because the information changed, because he was giving good information then. But what you hear from like a lot of them guys that's there, they BS artists. Like they talk loud. When you hear a motherfucker talking loud and ain't saying nothing, like he start like getting loud to try to draw from his commentary what he's saying, because he really ain't saying nothing. And that's a common technique that Stephen A. Smith does all the time. Like if he's debating the point, then you see he gets loud and he starts getting louder in the conversation and bucking his eyes and doing all this dramatic shit to draw from the stupid shit that's coming out of his mouth. But that's a common thing that most of these kind people do. So, I mean, at some point, people going to get tired of that, because it's always dudes checking him because he's always constantly off code saying stupid shit. So, I mean, that's eventually going to run its time, man. People they hadn't got there yet. But anyway, listen, man, I would love to sit here and talk another hour about that. What's his face? But we about to call it quits. I know Lex, man, you up in whatchamacallit. It's almost too. I have to apologize. We had some technical issues getting started, fam. So we gotta put that on a certain country. It was on top of the mountain. He had some bad antenna reception. You know, his nickname rhymed with Snapple because he likes to eat pineapples.
There is no place I'd rather be.
Hey, good talk, DC. Where you good talk? Play a good talk.
America.
Play your good talk, DC.
America.
All right, so there you go. That's it.
Hey,
So
got good sound tonight though. No snapping, crackling, and popping. Don't sound like I'm frying fish. Got the mic up.
yeah, DC. Congratulations to you, brother. I appreciate you stepping up with none of the snap, crackle, and pop tonight, brother. You're a cool brother for that. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Big Q, for
getting stuff together tonight,
for
sir.
finally coming down off your Willie Green take and coming down to reality with the rest of us.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about, DC? I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
I'm talking about the way you ended your segment on Willie Green today. Thank you.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Now play the music. Very relaxing. Yes.
All right, y'all, we're gonna get out on that, man. What? No, DC. What you shooting for, dog? It's relaxing, dog. Crazy ass. Yo, boop, 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 dog. That's a relaxing song, dog. What you trying to do?
Respect.
All right, we go. DC that lost his damn mind, man. Listen, we're gonna get out of here. What you boop, boop, boop for, dog? That's a relaxing song.
Relaxation.
What's wrong with you?
You hear me now?
Yeah, no, we got to go. All right, so much love to y'all. Appreciate
Violence is relaxation. You hear me now?
You hit the like button. What you talking about? Violence is relaxation. What kind of yes. All right, y'all, we out of here. DC done lost it, man. We got
There's no peace without a peace.
There's no peace without it. Hey, y'all, I feel you on that, DC.
Violence is relaxation. Push your gun.
Oh, goodness, man. Don't be too defined with it. Relax. Let it flow. You gotta speak it from the diaphragm. You gotta speak it from the diaphragm.
DC tripping, man.
The very depths of your belly.
Queen Lexxah.
Bust your gun. I hear you on that. There's no peace without peace. You right on that.
No
DC.
peace, you have no peace.
There's no coach without imagination.
There you go.
I got to go, man. I'm holler at y'all next
There's no
week.
DM without direction and vision.
We represent the green,
We
just
got
not Willie.
Nothing at all. All we got is all this talent. No take on leadership.
Oh no, y'all go too far. You got Roscoe Willie, man. Y'all wrong.
Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. I want to go in on these niggas.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shop, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that too.